Oh, stream buffered.
Woo woo!
Yeah.
Hello, internet.
Hello, internet.
Testing,
D&D.
Um,
Done some updates. Talking. Best drives are. I think we finally got it, guy. And some wood to knock.
I got a wood desk.
Yeah, I got one too.
wood one as well.
I hit that a little hard. I hit that a little hard.
I got a wood table.
Knuckles stinging.
I didn't hit it with my knuckles. Was the big problem?
Oh, yeah.
How did you hit it?
It's
for the
fine.
parts you
We're
can't
good.
feel
We're good.
on.
We're good.
Okay, I hear everyone as
Those
well.
Ugh.
Are about it as the gnome tick. Wasn't wrong. Well, if I was called the Laughing Goblin. First person surge. That's here. Or to much more. Surge did know. Guided them that location. Rescue. Or being driven. Not before the person, Livia, aimed to. Wait. Back one step, of course. Interrupted. You, actually, interrupted by a Teldark with, well, who goes as a Ventarum Chob. As a result, the ensuing conversation was a little bit tense. Autumn got involved. Perhaps some misplaced tension became of the relationship between Joel and Autumn. We don't know yet. We'll figure that out. Nonetheless, Joel was able to learn a couple of things from parents' store in Melvont had been ransacked. That there is apparently an opportunity to pay off a court by visiting a called Mountain Home. That's where we, after having saved Valona, they and Olivia managed to return Valona to Rillo the father. Also managed to have a conversation with one of the Blackfist Knights, Elaine Burrell, about the secret prison and try to get that all solved. And so the result was it was a long day because, of course, this was the last half of the day after they had already lost one of their other friends earlier on in the day at a temple-ish crypt in Callaghan Graveyard. So that was a busy day. They're kind of hoping for at least one quiet where we carry on from here. They have now returned to Madame Friona's tea kettle. So, at the tea kettle, they actually all went straight to bed. So they'll now be waking that Emery will probably be likely the first one to wake up. Add to that.
Either Emery or Roman, one of the two, probably.
What you would expect that you're probably going to do wake up on this unusual day. Was it following the end? You would wake up in the tea kettle, and what you would find is, yeah, you'd actually be surprised to see that for the first time in a long time, it's not one of the daughters of Madame Fiona, but it's actually Madame Fiona herself who's actually taking care of the tavern. Now, to give you kind of a picture, Madame Fiona is a halfling, but she has this dark hair with little streaks of gray through it. She has it tied up in a top bun that's not very well kept, so it's kind of falling out a little bit. But she also is bespectacled, and she has this perpetual grin on her face all the time. And so she would ask, are we going to say that Emery and Roman are up then?
I don't know. Sure. I mean, unless Emery has something to say about that.
Hearing nothing, we'll carry on then. So Roman is up, at the very least, for sure. And so Madame Fiona will offer to you one of her regular pancakes or flat cakes that she oftentimes does with the berries that her daughters usually picks for breakfast. I feel like we've lost Emery somehow. Do we have him here?
I mean, he's still here in the call, and
Yeah.
he's still here in the Roll20 game. So I'm not
here in
quite
spirit.
sure.
Here in spirit. There we go. There we go. Hello, Max Orcs. Good to see you on our chat. Well then, so as the day progresses, or as the morning progresses, we'll say that everybody else kind of makes their way down to the main room and are offered the pancakes as well as they carry on. Madame Fiona will come to you guys. We'll say that you're all at the same table, probably? Question mark?
That's a fair assumption.
Yeah.
I am notably opposite side of the table from Marisol.
Not even paying attention to you, my dear.
Yep, I'm aware. I'm aware.
Sorry, I'm back.
I feel like Autumn would come down after Marisol just to make sure he's on the opposite side of the table.
Yeah, probably.
Well, Madame Fiona will come to you guys after with the last plate that she hasn't had a chance to bring out of breakfast, pancakes and berries, and say, "So, I imagine you guys had quite the evening last night. You guys are
It was
not worse for wear.
definitely strange.
Do tell."
I'm not quite sure we are allowed to.
Well, you should not be surprised if you have a little bit more attention coming your way.
I mean, I feel as though we always have attention coming towards us now.
Well, you came in last night looking a little bit more terse than usual, but it doesn't really take a Netherese wizard to realize that you guys have gotten into some more trouble yet again.
Please don't tell us another wizard is about to come through that door now. I pinched the bridge of my nose.
Emery comes in through
very
the front
tired.
door, and he says, "Oh, hey guys, how's it going?"
Oh, so Emery has
So you're all
been
awake
out and
now?
about. There you go. So Emery, you have been out and about. What have you been? I guess we don't know. We'll just find that out as you're going along.
Yeah,
So
we'll
you
find
guys-
out.
Yeah, you guys do see Emery come in through the front door.
I don't lift my head. Good morning, Emery.
I thought you finally took a chance to sleep in when you didn't answer the door.
I don't know if it's possible for me to sleep in.
you're past walking, whatever it is you do.
Sort of a trance, but yes. I've never tried to trance it longer than the normal amount, I guess.
So where were you?
Oh, just wandering around. You need to know the city. We've been, all over the place, and yet it feels like I barely know this place. So,
Yes, the docks were quite a revelation.
were they?
Well, for me at least.
How so?
Well, I came from a bit northern ways. I didn't know there was quite a big body of water there. Maybe I should study the maps a bit more. And she
Maybe
kind of
not.
like digs into her pancakes.
Well, they call it a lake, but it's really more of a, or they call it a sea, and it's more of a lake.
Well, it empties into the Sea of Fallen Stars at the least. I've drawn it enough times to be able to chart its course probably just by touch alone at this point.
Does the Sea of Fallen Stars connect to an even bigger sea?
Talking about the Moon Sea?
The Moon Sea spills into the Sea of Fallen Stars, is what I meant. I think it does travel through some tributary rivers out onto the Sword Coast, but I'm not sure if it empties anywhere else.
I think I see the problem with your local names. You name things like water after everything that's in the sky.
Well,
This surprises you?
you ever been out on the water? It does look like there's a lot of stars at night in the water.
It was too foggy when I sailed to but yes.
Yes, during more calm nights, without being standing, it's sometimes hard to distinguish whether you're looking up or down off of the edge of a boat.
Well, Madame Fiona will have overheard a little bit of that. Will come over and say, "You mean to say that you've never seen the Moon Sea before?"
I don't think some of us have. I happen to end up here through the Moon Sea, so...
I've never seen it. Other than that.
Well, then how did you get here? Most everybody comes by sea.
Well, I did sail to the Sword Coast, you said, is what you called on, and then I touched something I probably shouldn't have, and I appeared here. That's why when we were in that crypt, maybe it was a good idea not to touch most things.
Do you mean you teleported?
Well, I must have. There wasn't any circles or anything, just skin. Scales.
Skin and scales. That's
Have I heard
creepy.
about the teleporting, or did you say you got
Whoa.
teleported and then you had the scales and stuff, or?
I touched
I'm
some
confused.
scales and then I don't know what happened. I woke up on the riverbank.
Like dragon
Surge,
scales?
what? I look up at Surge as he pushes off.
Doesn't acknowledge, just walks away and stands at the next table over with his back to you.
Strange character.
Did I say something to offend? I don't know your customs. I'm sorry.
No, you're just talking about the sea.
There's a river right here. It's a lot of
It's
water
not that
too.
far away.
It's not the same. You wouldn't understand.
Is this
I
the
can
same thing?
understand.
That's fair, probably coming from me.
I can understand missing something. Missing one's home.
Just continue your conversation. I'll be over here.
I feel
Rowan
like
would
we
narrow his eyes, but not question anything.
I think it's a good idea to make an effort to, welcome Surge, even though he's been a bit prickly.
Is he part of the group now? Did I miss this or something?
No, but you might need him.
Notably, I think that would be up to him.
I mean, has anyone asked yet?
He did follow us here like a little puppy.
More like a hurt dog, but yeah.
Funny nonetheless.
Well, you mentioned scales. Were they like dragon scales, or
That
were you
is a bit
teleported here?
good for clarification. Thank you.
Uh,
Or was it like, weight scales?
like my scales. So yes, dragon scales. The only thing that I know is that someone wanted to hide it, and maybe my poking around wasn't wise.
Did the scales come with you?
I don't have them anymore. I don't know where they are.
These were
Do
an
you-
Omn.
It was in oh god, I forgot what that island is called.
Lantan.
No. It was on a facility of sorts on a small island, where they house. Marisol, I told you that my people, they think I could be unstable. They hold, unstable people in that place, and
Teleporting
was-
by a scale does not seem like a great way to prove stability, however.
Is that where you got scales on your neck?
no, I had that before. It started before. But look, when these things become apparent, the signs, that's when usually people get exiled, and that's why I can't come back. Well, I can't come back officially. I just think. Yes?
If there's an entire island for your people to dispose of their people, how frequent is dragon scales in your home?
Not exactly just from my island. What I know of it is that all sorts of magical people went there when someone decided that they were maybe too dangerous. Look, I don't quite trust that they were all insane or anything like that. Maybe someone just wanted to get rid of them. And
Wow, almost sounds like Malvant would be an upscale for you.
didn't something similar happen in Melvant then?
No, the place is just a shithole.
We always say that about where we come from in some ways, but
You haven't been there, haven't seen the smog fill the sky, choking on ash from all the factories, seen people walking with chains around their necks and legs. It's not a place you go to for a vacation by any means.
that does sound terrible.
Yeah, but it's where the shop is, so it's where I am.
You're not there anymore. You're here. Do you want to open up a new shop in a place where there's no captive people walking around?
In truth, I'd shut the place down if I could. I had a place lined up in Waterdeep to go study art and hopefully become a full-time artist. But after my parents died or went missing, the deed fell to me. So did all of their troubles, and my siblings needed something stable. So I took over. My aunt is running the place in my stead while I'm gone.
So what were you looking for out here?
Before the goblins caught me or after?
Well, now that you're free.
Well, a few more spots to take cartography, of course. There's actually a place up called Mountain Home. It's a few miles, I want to say, east of here. It could use some more detailing on maps, and it's a small town, but it's growing bigger. I think I definitely could use... Well, I think we could all maybe use a break and get out of the city and maybe just go, not relax, but see what is up there. Could use some time to sketch.
I think it's a wonderful idea. I mean, maybe the place isn't well mapped and you could be the first.
Yeah, won't pay great, but it'll be a start.
Autumn, are you kicking around right there, listening to this conversation too?
Yeah, I'm taking some minor notes as well.
Okay. Then you are going to be able to hear everything that they're saying at this point.
Alright.
You could.
Was it in a whisper? I didn't understand that it was in a whisper.
No. I'm talking about the fact that what Marisol and Lumen are talking about. He can definitely hear that. The other history check I've already checked in on.
Oh, the dwarf is taking notes. Gotcha.
You could
He
learn
always-
art at Myth Draenor if you wanted. It's in ruins, but there's a rebuilding effort.
I'm not really looking to go adventuring anymore. I have to here, but thanks for the offer.
Lumina,
Yes.
would you be aware of a group known as the Cowled Wizards?
The cold wizards? No. Do they...
Cowled. Like withered
Cow.
roots.
Ah. Cowled. You know,
Sorry.
unfamiliar words. My apologies.
You would know.
Common
that.
is so hard.
I
Lumina,
would know those.
Lumina, you would know of them, but you may not actually know any of them yourself, particularly because the sanitarium that you had attended was at one point in time managed by them.
Okay. You know, it sounds a bit different than what I'm used to, but yes, I know of them a bit. Do you know of the place that I was talking about earlier? The island.
I've read about a place called Am,
Ah,
which sounds very similar to what you described.
yes, it's off the coast of For some reason, the name escapes me at this point, but I will tell you as soon as I remember it.
It's Spellhold.
Spellhold, thank you. Yes. Yes. So I'm talking about Spellhold, which is... I don't think it's a good place, but
Usually
wasn't...
prisons aren't.
Yeah, from
Yeah.
what you've described, it sounds very much like a prison.
See, exactly. And I was looking there, to understand perhaps how I became this way. If we had this in my family, I didn't know. So only of maybe an old ancestor that there were rumors, but nothing ever concrete. So I went there to see, and that's how I ended up here. I don't know why here of all places.
I lean forward, arm on the table, purposely cupping my mouth. and shooting Autumn a glare. And I speak in a hushed tone. Does your son have any of your features?
Kind of stricken for a second. He never showed signs, but do you understand that my urgency in this matter? It's if he ever shows signs early and he's exiled like me, he's only a boy. He's not going to be able to take care of himself. And then what if I never find him after that?
You mean they separated you? Like your son's back home on your island?
Yes, I trust my husband's parents will take care of him well, but they can't do anything if he shows signs. And how is a child supposed to hide that? If it runs in the family, the only thing I was looking for on Spellhold is I was hoping that I was wrong and whoever my ancestor was not like me. That I was a fluke.
Were the stills that you touched the same color as your stills? Your stills are red, right? Out of character.
Yeah.
Were they red too? Is what I'm asking.
Were they?
Yeah, they were.
Okay. They were red but faded. Old.
This is a long shot.
Mhm.
It may not even be true. But what if your dragon blood or your ancestor is what brought you here, and there's something here for you? I don't know. It seems oddly seems like a weird place to be taken, and from a weird thing to cause it.
Yes. Maybe I should take this opportunity more than I have.
But
Is there a chance that it may have something to do with that green dragon incident with the church? I'm not particularly familiar with the history of dragons other than from my home.
Terrifying.
the
Very
chromatic ones
beautiful.
don't usually work together. If that's what you're implying.
Exactly. Maybe there is some kind of rivalry between them. Your ancestor, so from wherever they may be, understands that this particular one may not exactly be dead yet.
Do you think so?
I'm not saying that it's impossible. I mean, resurrection magic does exist. I've seen
If
it
they're
done
a
in front of me.
dragon, they could have never died.
That
Perhaps
is also a possibility.
I feel so ill-informed. Maybe I think I must study much more about this.
I think
About the area,
we are
about the
all
history of this
quite
place.
ill-informed.
Do I? Time to pull up my background feed. Or if I know, do I know of anything that's similar to this, or where using researcher, where we'd have to look to find information about this? Whether it just be
I
about
would
dragons in
also
general, or
like information of this nature.
Sure. Well, unfortunately, Autumn, I already had you roll the history check that would have worked for that.
Ah, dang. Okay.
Yeah, it's a dang. As for Emery, let's get you to roll. We will have it a roll because this is not going to be something that you're going to have direct interaction with. Just a
Mhm.
general history check as well.
but I mean to use researcher to like, if I don't know it, then where I could find that kind of information is what I mean. But
Oh yeah.
I'll roll. Ooh.
So let's see what. Oh, you kind of know some stuff. So what you know of Amn in particular is that it is kind of a nation that's of merchants. That's their claim to fame, if you will. You don't know necessarily anything about a specific dragon that's there, or anything along those lines, or a dragon that used to be there even. You don't have that kind of information. You do know that you've heard the phrase the cowled wizards, but you haven't heard anything else beyond that. They were some significant organization in Amn. Much like probably in some history book of your reading, through schooling or something to that effect, just kind of like a forgotten paragraph. It seems familiar. As for where you could find more information, you did notice while you were in kind of touring the city of Flan that there was a long, tall spire that was referred to by the locals as Mantor's Library. That might be a place that might have further information. As for anything else local, not really sure. You know that you would be able to find lots of information back in some of the other places you lived, but here, you figure probably Mantor's Library is probably your best bet.
Well, we could go check the Big Spire Mentor's library and see if they have anything of use to discern who might have been your ancestor. I'm sure there have been plenty of red dragons that have been in the area of Am. If again, I bring this up. Sorry.
I am not inexperienced in, doing research. So perhaps it's best to split our resources, and I can do this research on my own for a time.
Well, I'm quite good
bring
at finding things, if need be.
If
Go
you
faster
bring
would
any,
help. Sorry.
if you bring anything back, I could translate for you. Draconic was one of the languages my parents taught me.
I also know
Yes.
Draconic, for what it's worth.
We could have a study group, but thank you for offering so well. Yes, but enough about me. I mean, we were thinking about what to do next. We can't just sit around.
It's a good
Well,
timing.
Study break.
As that one comes in, as you do that lovely little segue, it's kind of as if you've been prodded by Madame Fiona, who's coming over to clear some tables to say, kind of that's what made you consider an opportunity to shift conversation, if you will. And you're starting to notice that there's a few other people who are starting to make their way into the tea kettle for their morning cup of coffee. There's been a couple of ladies that tend to come in and like to do some gossiping, and so they find their usual spot and they get their usual order of tea, and away they go. They are paying a bit of attention to you.
Wonderful onlookers. At least they're not taking any more notes than the dwarf over there. Run out of charcoal yet, Autumn?
No, actually, it is ink. I gesture with my quill.
I glare back, unimpressed.
Well, I'm fine going to do some studying if we have the day off. I mean, not as exciting as adventuring, but
I think this might be a bit of a longer term project, which is why I suggest, parting ways for a while.
If we
What do you
go to
mean?
Mountain Home, you stay here maybe?
Yes, or whatever you decide to do. It seems like there's a lot of things to go through before we reach some kind of truth. I don't think it's going to be an afternoon of study. But I'm willing to share everything I find.
Apologies.
What were you saying?
On that note, though, I jerk my head over at the moody Genasi. Should we get him involved with this conversation if we're laying cards flat on the table and deciding things now?
Notably, we do still need to resolve the matter of payment for the previous work.
Rillo said he would join us here. He did mention last night he may sleep in quite a while, which is no issue. I don't think any of us particularly plan on leaving today.
No, to last night. I think we can all use the day off.
was there, for future reference, is there anything anyone has they need to do, or requires us to go somewhere, or sort of free agents, as it were? What about you, Serge? You must have something to do if you're so far away from home.
Now that you mention it, yes, I do actually need to go buy a shield.
All right, well, that's not quite what I
I'm
had in
sure
mind.
the armor will be open in a couple of hours if it's not open quite yet.
No need to be so tense.
Well, Marisol, you seem to have some unfinished business. Are you sure you want to leave so soon to Mountain Home, or?
Autumn pulls his book in closer to him as this conversation starts.
If
Nothing
any
un-
of you, sorry, go ahead.
Nothing unfinished in Flan that can't wait or be taken care of later. Mountain Home is my next stop for at least a project, though. And I can say that it hopefully will be rewarding for the lot of us long term.
Why do you say that? What's there in Mountain Home besides maps to be made?
I mean, if you came as my entourage of sorts, I'd of course chip in whatever earnings I can get off it. Might even be some adventure to be found out there. You never know. It's the Moonsea region. There's corruption everywhere.
Kinda sounds like we're gonna be taking a long walk to go beat the shit out of some people, and honestly, I'm kinda in.
When aren't you, Roman? When aren't you?
When my life is actually in danger. Otherwise, why not?
You're very
With the
quick
joy
to.
of
Sorry.
We keep doing this today. It's just all like, without the ability to
We
see
are
someone, it's
cursed.
like
It's like all
the voice just doesn't work.
You guys are so polite. I love it.
Let's see. What was I gonna say? Having your life in danger is sort of the joy of adventuring. If you wanted to not have your life be in danger, why not be a cartographer, for instance?
Because
No
I
offense.
I still have another job that requires me to be alive to complete.
And what's
That's-
that?
It's something that is required of me back home, which is an ongoing project.
Well, you sure don't
Real.
like to talk about yourself very much.
I don't particularly know you very well, so I have reason.
Well, you won't know me very well until I know you're not hiding a bunch of secrets. And that includes, why are you covering your face?
Well, I will always hide secrets. It's part of my presence here. So, and that one is going to stay a secret until I believe it is time to reveal it.
Respectable. Some secrets need to be kept for protective measures anyway.
Someone
Though-
understands, I see.
I mean, the face thing, though. Like, really? Like, are you really ugly or something?
No, it is part of my line of work.
Fair enough.
Mercenary? Adventurer? I've known a
Neither.
lot of adventurers, and not many of them cover their faces. In
Neither.
fact, a few have tattoos of their faces on their biceps.
That is quite strange. But I
I run
am
with strange
actually
company.
neither.
Their own faces?
Yeah, if you ever hear the working rates, don't ask Kelia about her tattoos. But, Roman, that raises the question, though. What is your profession?
Well, hang on, I gotta open up my backstory real fast and double check what I actually wrote as my background. It's been a while since I've actually read the bio. At least the bio page, not my actual character's bio. That I know. Okay. Well, where I'm from, as I've stated, pretty much there are really only two things to get into, and that is learning to fight or learning to be religious. I managed to do both. Both quite inconsiderably terribly, to be honest. I'm quite weak when it comes to hand-to-hand combat, and again, still quite weak when it comes to keeping people alive. Though I have done so on a number of occasions.
Lot stronger than I am.
That's only because I have a lot of extra training. But you
I
are
mean-
also quite a lot faster than I am.
And can hit things.
Yes. I generally avoid using weaponry when I can, simply because my spells are better.
Yeah, the magic thing. Where'd you learn it?
That is because I am a cleric. My magic.
Oh, didn't realize. You don't seem that overt about it.
It's because I'm not. I
If you don't mind me
tried.
asking,
Oh,
if you don't mind me asking, whom do you worship exactly?
one moment again. I need to recheck the pronunciation because
Well,
it's
you-
kind of a long.
Krellin.
No, give me
It's-
1 second to actually open up.
Yeah, if you
I
got
gotta
a
remember which
pronunciation
one
that
it's
I don't
in.
know, then it's just Wow Keen, isn't it?
No, it's what?
Wow Keen?
Is that how you pronounce it? Okay, I just wanted to make sure that I actually got it right. But yes, that is correct.
I actually don't know who that is out of character, damn.
Are
Well,
you?
could, if you aren't familiar with it, then we could do if there's somebody who's like super keen on finding out things about gods, and has proficiency in religion, you'd be welcome to roll it. You need to have the proficiency in religion to
proficiency.
do that.
I was just gonna ask him what his god was all
You could
about.
do that too, Autumn.
Yeah, Roman would answer that. If I remember correctly, she's the deity of like commerce, I think.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Wait. I think I have a backstory thing related to that, actually.
Oh.
Wait a second.
Marisol is deep in thought. Look at that brow wrinkle.
I also
It
worship
is-
Wauteen.
Actually, my
Wow.
mother did.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Many people in the business world, business realm of Faerûn do. It is a common thing.
Ah, yeah. Mom was pretty keen on her for that reason.
I served as a caravan guard for a number of years before moving to protecting my own back home.
Yeah, that's honestly pretty honorable and relatable.
You say you worship your god and that your god Joaquin, she grants you magic. And you also mentioned that that's not very welcome back home? Or am I misunderstanding?
The ability to be of holy magic is accepted. It is other types of magic that are less appreciated. There
Ah,
is an area of the city that is of a much lesser quality, to put it lightly, where people of other magics are kind of forced into living.
sounds like not a place for Odom nor I.
As long as you don't go around casting spells, you'll be fine. Simply by
So-
looking at the two of you, I wouldn't be able to tell that you two can cast magic.
Really? And she kind of looks over at the floating book.
The floating book and the very flamboyant red robes.
I mean, remember, I come from a combative city, so people are odd anyways. It's not unusual that people dress weird.
Oh, that's hilarious, though. Thank you.
I mean, yeah, the floating book thing would probably stand out, but looking at Lumina, as far as I understood from your character description of her, none of her skills are showing.
Not yet, they aren't.
Well,
But thank you. I take a lot of effort to not show, I suppose.
Sometimes it's hard to hide that shit, though.
Yes, for some more than others.
About this point in
Apologies.
time, you guys notice two Blackfist enter the tavern. As they're entering the tavern, they go to directly to the bar where Madame Fiona is settled, and she is washing a glass and kind of gives them one cocked eyebrow, and they have a little bit of a conversation while you are carrying on with yours.
Can I lean back in my chair nonchalantly and perk my ear towards the group and roll insight to see if I can, like, overhear what the Blackfist are talking about?
It would be a perception check in this particular case.
Okay.
They're here for us.
Okay. Yeah, so what you'll hear as the conversation between them is a little bit of banter back and forth between Madame Fiona and the Blackfist, particularly about being held accountable. And Madame Fiona would say, would do it as kind of this passive aggressive. Isn't it wonderful when people are being held accountable? As they're asking her about some berries that have like berry jams or something like that have gone missing. Something along those lines.
No! I don't know this out in character, but my bad. It's horrible.
I lean forward in my chair, elbows on the table, and look about at the group, voice hushed. Don't look now, but trouble might have walked in.
Emery looks.
Yeah.
As you
So-
all look,
I think we all saw the guards walk in, didn't we?
yeah. Well, and as you all make a very obvious gesture to look in their general direction, they are making a very obvious gesture to look in your general direction, and they give a very curt nod. Both of them give you a very curt nod, and turn to make their way back out of the tea kettle. The kind of nod that you would get when it's obvious that you don't have any great acclamations towards one another, but you are still respecting that the other one exists.
That looked like a challenge.
Bar fight?
They stepped in our territory.
Madame
Oh,
Fiona
we s-
actually takes a couple seconds longer and follows them out for a brief moment.
I
They are
mean,
technically the guard of this area. They can technically walk
Yes,
in here.
it's probably bad to antagonize the law more than we already have.
Yes, you're
We did
probably right.
I did put a couple of them unconscious last night.
As long as those two aren't with the other ones, I think we're fine.
we
However,
As far as we understood, they're not all together.
Madame Fiona comes back into the tea kettle. She takes one look at you, and she grins, and does a little bit of a laugh, shakes her head, and walks back towards the bar.
I don't know if we should take that as a good sign or not.
I want to call after her. What's so funny?
You? When you say that you get yourselves into trouble from time to time or have some terse moments, I didn't think it would result in Blackfist hanging from the gate. Not complaining.
I'm sorry?
What?
Oh, go take a peek. There's a couple of Blackfist hanging from the Stojano gate right now.
I go to the door.
And
I'll
sure
go to
enough,
the window.
I think we all kind of make our way outside slowly.
How
Very
did I miss
confused
that?
by that statement.
How did I miss that when I was walking around?
well, it's because they weren't up there yet. But when you guys lean out the front door of the tea kettle, it's pretty easy to see the castle, basically right across the river from your side of the town. But a little bit south of that is the Stojano Gate, and it's quite obvious that there are two people, and they are most definitely wearing, and even from this distance, you can easily see these are not commoners' clothes. These are Blackfist uniforms, and they are hanging from Stojano Gate.
Well,
Did
that's
I
a little
do
bit
that?
of justice.
Now I feel like we wasted our time just knocking them out.
It's better
Sends
than
a better
us telling
message.
them. They'd have been made martyrs otherwise.
And so, you guys can carry on outside, or you can still go back into the kettle and continue with your conversations.
I'm going back in.
Yeah, I think yeah, Roman will definitely walk back in.
And Madame Fiona is still washing that same cup. She hasn't changed which cup she's washing. She's still washing the exact same cup, and she's just chuckling and shaking her head.
Well, that happened.
It seems the words you and Olivia gave to the guards last night gave some info.
She did
That's
most.
extreme, even from where I'm from.
It's nice to actually see some justice.
Madame Fiona comes over and brings you each. She kind of knows what you guys like to drink by this point in time, so she just brings one over to you on the house.
I think
Thanks,
we're all
madam.
still kind of very confused by these series of events.
At this point in time, the two ladies who like to do a lot of gossip quick step outside, come back in. They're kind of chuckling to themselves too.
Alright, so there's a decent chance the entire guard might hate us now.
Let them. Might whip them into shape finally.
I do think that, considering what the sort of trouble we've stirred, it might be best to, like Marisol was saying, to move on to greener pastures, as it were.
Well, you have the options of the mountains. What are you seeking, Serge? Maybe you have an idea.
Snaps out of thought for a second and looks at Lumina. Sorry, what did you say?
What it is that you seek? I mean, you were quite important to what caused those guards to be hanging. I don't think you want to stay around either.
Well. See, I'm looking for a ship.
Don't know if we'll find one of those on the mountain.
There is a very long, pointed eye roll right there.
Imagine that. I assume me
Who'd
and
have
Adam's
thunk?
going to a weird conversation about boats in the sky.
That's what.
Do airships exist in Faerûn?
They used to.
Okay. And after the whole, I'm sure there are events that happened that I probably have heard of but don't know.
Quite possibly.
That may
Did
have
you wanna-
caused them to. No, I'm not saying as Roman.
Okay.
Roman definitely would not know of this. I'm saying me as a person. I've probably heard, watched YouTube videos or something on this kind of a subject before.
Oh yeah, definitely. If you want, I can tell you at the very least, it has something to do with the Netherese. So the Netherese wizard's comment makes it a little bit more entertaining when you hear that.
Yes, yeah, I think I understand the event then.
I will say, if you're looking for a ship, that could lead to some adventures on the moon sea, and that could be fun. We could play maybe pirates for a little bit.
Pirates are usually the bad people.
Can't speak
We could
so
be good
lightly
pirates.
I was going to say caravan guard.
Yeah,
Alright, I
believe
didn't
the term
mean-
would be like sailor.
Can we be ship
the word you're
adventurers?
looking
Is that better?
Privateer at worst. I think that's what you would call it. I mean, not a outright pirate. That's
How long have you all been in Flan anyway?
Few days. What, maybe a week?
I think a week at
starts
most.
counting on her
between all of
fingers.
us.
Like
2 days.
I think between all of us, it's probably a week at most, maybe.
Enough to want to be a pirate.
A couple in a cage.
We'll see what we can do about that. To Emery's. Anyway, suppose you wouldn't know, but my ship is called the Black Sun. We were attacked by pirates. The captain, a bunch of the crew, attacked by pirates about 2.5, 10 days ago.
Where?
Wendy, where would it have been?
You know about as much as that it would have been. Oh gosh, I forgot the country's name. Autumn, what's the country's name? What's your country's name?
Interesting.
I can't remember what your country's name was. What was it?
America.
Now I gotta go do something.
I
give me
don't
one-
know.
Give me 1 second. Lore dump. Here we go.
Forgetting backstory. Come on.
Getting great backstory.
Not like
love
I
that.
just didn't do that, Urchin.
Man,
Let's
guys,
see.
step it up.
Right there. This will be the thing that'll tell me. Let's go look at it. Okay,
the
so
f-
it's
it's
in the Sea of
fog.
Falling Stars. And in particular, it would have been just as they would have exited the Dragon Reach, southwestish, perhaps, of the Vast.
Well, that might
That
be
would have
more.
been an area that I passed through when I was sailing here, correct?
Absolutely. The only way to get to the Moon Sea by way of the Sea of Fallen Stars
Yeah.
is through the Dragon Reach, for sure.
Yeah.
And Autumn would be familiar with the Vast, as that was the neighboring country to where he grew up, or sorry, to where he studied.
Near
most.
where I lived.
Anyway, for sake of simplicity, I'll describe the area in those terms and say it was storming whenever we got attacked. They threw most of the crew overboard, including me. Should
How'd
be
you
dead.
end up here?
To be honest, the will of Umberly, I suppose. I have no idea. I went unconscious. I was unconscious for days, as far as I know.
Serge,
I woke up. Yes.
Serge, I'm going to get you
Okay.
to just roll a general d20 for me, if you don't mind, please.
The old-fashioned D20 roll.
Oh yeah. I
Well,
like
she
dice.
does
As
that.
Old-fashioned,
one
leave
of
it to
my other friends.
chance.
Would I
Yeah.
have seen any pirate ships on my way here?
Oh, quite likely. You would have had to have passed the Pirate Isles in order to get anywhere, so you would have had to have actually been steering clear of them as much as possible, but likely have seen some.
Okay, so I wouldn't have had any interaction then.
You would have avoided it as best as possible. Serge,
Okay.
it occurs to you, you don't know what day it is.
Yikes.
Actually, what day is it? Anyway.
Oh, it's
Autumn knows exactly, but I
Tuesday.
don't know.
Okay, so Autumn knows that it is the 10th day of Eliasis.
That-
Oh boy, now I gotta Google the Faerûn calendar.
That's August.
It would have been how
Basically.
long since I would have been on the ship? About 2.5 weeks, 2.5, 10 days.
Except that it was actually a little bit longer as you hear to the 10th day of Eliasis. That you were, if that were the case, then you would have been a couple of days or a couple of weeks away, or about a 10-day and a half away from. Oh gosh, I forgot the. Let's see here. I was about to say Harvest Tide, but that's not right.
Lent is the next one.
No, it's the
So-
next. It's the one in front of it. I'm
Oh,
thinking-
fuck.
Yeah, that's
Flame
where
Rule?
my brain's going.
It's
Flame Rule?
amazing that you survived so long without drowning.
Act like drowning's a problem for me.
Also very fair.
Flame Rule. Yeah, you're
Well-
right.
Scribble.
I heard somebody say it, but I couldn't tell what you were saying. Yeah, Flame Rule. So it
Odin.
would have actually been about. You would have actually remember the last day you would have remembered would have been around the last of the first 10-day of Flame Rule, which means that you've actually been gone for more than the 2.5, 10 days that you thought. It's been over 3.
God, how long have I been out?
Well, this sounds more exciting than going to do cartography on top of a mountain, and B, a lot more pressing than that. No offense,
No
Marisol.
offense.
Yeah.
My back straightens a little bit, and there's a slight twitch in my jaw at that. Yeah, I mean, my business was ransacked, and we're down a few $100s because of it, and I need to pay for some repayments. But sure, yeah, we really need to go look for a ship at the bottom of the Dragon's Reach.
They wouldn't have sunk it.
So they would have captured it, possibly? Is that what you're...
I have no idea what, but there's something they wanted. Something they wanted on there. I don't know. I don't know what it was.
That is kind of the motive behind pirates, is that they want something from the ships they plunder.
What was the purpose of your ship?
We were a merchant ship, just delivering timber and stuff.
Timber.
And
That's
there
an
was
odd
something else on
cargo.
the hold to keep.
It must have. They were attracted to it.
Well-
Timber is a bit of an odd cargo for ship travel.
All
Most
those
areas
in
around
favor
Faerûn have
of
wooded
climbing a
areas quite
mountain.
close.
As
Sorry.
as you are about to say all those in favor, the door opens and there is a friendly face in the doorway that you are familiar with. It is Rillo and his daughter Valona, both entering the tea kettle. And they both take a quick
How
peek
is...
around. Sorry, go ahead, ask a question.
I was just gonna ask how Valona is looking, since she was kind of like limping and basically falling over.
She's still looking very like her vision is still very distant. She's looking far more aware than she did the day before, but she still doesn't look like she's altogether there. In terms of her physical appearance, she doesn't look anywhere near as disheveled. Maybe a little pale, but just not disheveled. Her red hair is very much in stark contrast to the. It almost makes her skin look gray, like the color of newsprint, but you do see a little bit of pink kind of starting to show its way in her skin.
Okay.
And he'll go. Rillo will have a peek at a peek inside real quick, and then immediately see you and say, "Ah, friends. Perhaps I can introduce you to my daughter properly this time. My friends, this is my daughter Valona, and I know that you've met her, but now you get a chance to actually meet her with truth, as she actually is a little bit closer to what she is supposed to be like." And Valona kind of does this off. It looks like she's looking through. I'll make it Surge. This looks like she's almost looking through Surge, and she says, "Thank you for your help." And that's all she gets out of her mouth as they approach you guys.
Is there a couple of extra chairs by us?
Yeah. You can easily pull them. You end up pulling them from other tables, but there's not a ton of people in the tea kettle at the moment.
Seems very off from what we know her of. Is something
I mean,
going
we
on?
don't exactly know her. She was kind of losing her mind the last we saw her.
She wasn't. Yeah, but when she got healed a little bit, she wasn't like this.
That
wasn't
was
weird.
because of this particular spell I used.
Yeah, it
Oh.
wasn't a real heal.
And Rillo's just kind of watching the conversation, looking back and forth at each of you guys. I'm sorry. Of course, there's the matter of the payment promised, and he takes his a coin purse and places it on the table. It's the 50 gold. I want to say thank you, and I also understand that Olivia is going to come by and say hello to you as well. Valona said she wanted to wait here for her. Is that right, Valona? And she looks kind of very, still looking off into the distance, but she kind of does a little bit of a blink and looks over at her father. Oh yes, father, of course.
Sure. Not our inn. She can stay.
I do have to get back to work. I need to open up the shop. But You have no idea how much this has meant to me, and I really do hope you can actually put that coin to good use. I don't think that you're going to have a lot of people give you trouble for the next little while by the looks of the gate. So, thank you for maybe perhaps more than just Valona. There might be a few more people who are grateful for your help.
I don't think we particularly expected the event at the gate to happen when we decided to help your daughter.
Well, that's what I understand Olivia wants to talk to you about.
Oh. Is Olivia here as well?
Not yet. No,
Oh.
he's only said that she's going to be coming, and that Valona's
Okay.
going to be waiting for her here.
Rillo, before you go, about those music boxes.
Oh yes, of course. Did you want to come and sit and take your selection?
I mean, actually, do you have any that, like, I don't know, feature weapon motifs? Specifically, great axes?
I think I'd have to look in my shelves. I know I have some that are weapon themed, more along the lines of recreations, if you will, of battles that some people have for example, some of the battles of some of the adventuring companies that once existed in Flan hundreds of years ago. Perhaps there's one with a great axe in it. I honestly do not remember if I still have one in stock. We could go look.
Do you do custom orders?
Absolutely, I do. That's kind of my bread and butter, if you will.
If I give you a sketch of a group, could you recreate them in a music box?
Of our group. Sorry, of your group.
Not this one exactly. There's another adventuring company that I'm acquainted with, and an anniversary is coming up. They could use a reminder of what once was.
I think that something could be arranged there.
All right. Before we leave Flan, I'll stop by them.
That would be marvelous. And you are planning on leaving the city then, are you? And he kind of his expression immediately starts to kind of look a little bit worried.
We will be staying for the next couple of days at least. A couple of us have a couple of errands to run around the city.
Perfectly fair. Certainly, I can. Is there anybody else who would want to have a commission done at all?
It's a possibility. I would have to see what you have in your selection, but I think we will allow you to go open your shop, unless anyone else here has something they would like to say as well.
Well, then
I think
certainly.
we're good.
Sorry, go ahead, Autumn.
No, I think we're good.
Okay, so he'll say, perfectly fine then. Thank you very, and please do come down to the shop. Perhaps I already have something that will work for you too, Miss Monk, half orc person. What's your name again?
Marisol.
Marisol, of course. Sorry, I apologize for that. I'm obviously I was not. I have to admit, apologies. I was not as interested in names as I was in trying to find Valona again, and he gives Valona a little bit of a squeeze as he does that. In any case, I must make my way. I look forward to seeing you soon. And he turns and he makes his way out the door. Valona kind of takes a peek out, kind of takes a glance off to his father as he leaves. You kind of wait a beat before she speaks again. She says, fine, okay. And she now suddenly looks much more with it. Fine. My father doesn't know anything about my affiliation with the Order of the Gauntlet. Is there any way that you guys can prevent that from becoming common knowledge?
I do not know what you're talking about.
I think he knows that you are affiliated with them, but other than that, I don't think he particularly knows anything beyond that.
Well, for his safety, I think the less he knows, better. He doesn't seem to know anything about the Gauntlet. And I'm sorry to tell you this, but Olivia's not coming.
Hmm.
Oh.
And why is that?
She has business elsewhere. Very busy as she is with the Gauntlet, but I wanted to touch base with you myself. I really am sorry for the way that you found me. It was totally unlike me. Very thankful that you were able to help me out, and I kind of... I thought that I was going to be able to handle things better on my own. Apparently I was wrong. So I definitely appreciate you coming in to assist.
I
We all
hope
make
the
mistakes.
gauntlet takes care of you and doesn't let you get caught out alone anymore.
That's really honestly my fault. And in honesty, many times I've heard stories of order members proceeding on their own when they probably shouldn't have, and either it works out well for them or it doesn't. In my case, thanks to you, it does. And it makes me wonder, is this something that you do? You go and help people?
Generally.
It seems as though it's becoming a common theme between us all, yes.
Usually
Or-
for money, though.
And I grabbed the coin purse.
I think Serge and Marisol were the only two people who hadn't been paid yet, because the rest of us, I think, went with Rillo. And he paid us there, as far as I remember.
That
Well-
does sound like it makes sense.
Okay. Well, at which point we're gonna...
I don't particularly remember.
Yeah, let's just say even if we forgot a couple of those storyline facts, let's just simply say that that you all each got paid, and then you each got paid in the neighborhood of 10 gold. If it was split up.
Okay, yeah, I don't think we got paid then, because I had 2 gold listed.
Okay, yeah, make it 10 gold. for
Ozim
each
was
of you
doing
guys.
that one for free. As a reminder. This was his trial run.
Oh, that's right. Okay, well, yeah, definitely. Still 10 gold would still work for this. Officially speaking, my notes said 50, so I just kind of was friendly and said 10 gold for everybody, but that's okay. The Valona will look to... That was Serge that picked up the gold, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so Valona will look to Serge and say, indeed, you certainly can't make it much through life without having at least a little bit to show for it. I understand that, and I certainly don't fault you for it. Doesn't mean that my life isn't any less saved, so I appreciate it. The wonderment I have is if you are doing things like this, perhaps you would be willing to take on another task?
I think it would depend on the task.
Is it for your order?
Well, it's after a fashion, yes. The order is keeping track on some unusual happenings in and around the Moonsea region, and honestly throughout Faerûn. But in particular, I'm still relatively new to the organization and still trying to make my way. But I do have... Olivia did ask me to see if you would be up for a task that would take you out of town.
Well, I think we were planning on leaving town pretty soon, within the next couple of days, anyways.
Any chance that that direction you were choosing was to the Galena Mountains?
Is Mountain Home in that direction?
It is.
Oh, okay. I quickly nod yes.
Well, then, if you don't mind, perhaps I can employ you, after a fashion, to help me out with a search. I'm looking for particularly a tome of some sort that has been stolen by apparently kobolds, as I understand it, from a private collector, and they made their way to a town called Mountain Home. It's not very well known. I don't think anybody actually has it on any map that I'm aware of, at any rate. But at this location there is apparently a mass of kobolds in the area, and the thought is that this tome... Oh, and of course, they also said that there was a large amethyst that they had in their collection. We wanted to have it returned. And so hoping that you could go... I have other business myself that I was hoping to attend to, and thought perhaps that you could help me out with that particular task while I carried on with my own business.
Is this typical for the Order of the Gauntlet. Seems a bit like a fetch quest from what I've heard of your organization.
Well, when you know the number of private collectors that we do, and you know how they assist the Order of the Gauntlet, sometimes private collectors get some. They have needs that we find are actually in the benefit of the whole, if you will.
Fair.
It's a common thing that happens everywhere. Even where I'm from, where commerce is not exactly a common profession.
I don't know, maybe I just was hoping the Order was a bit more prestigious, I guess. Commerce can be a blood-sucking thing sometimes.
Well, this isn't a commercial thing by any stretch. Simply, this is just a private collector who would like to have their stuff returned. And if there really is a mass of kobolds in the area, as I understand it, Mountain Home is just this backwater location with very few people in it. I can't imagine that the number of kobolds that are amassing there, as I have heard it at any rate, are any good for the town at all.
What do these kobolds want with the tome of a book?
Well, that is the question. But I honestly don't know enough about the tome to tell you, except for to say that it apparently has some value. It certainly has value to my colleague, to the collector.
Look, if this collector has that kind of tome, maybe he has more information that isn't available at your local library, for example.
Information about what? What are you hoping for?
All kinds of things we're thinking of researching. But never mind, Marisol, this is a good idea, I think. You can kill two birds with one stone. Cartography.
Sounds kind of
and-
like a win-win.
Yeah.
Yeah, very
Elephant
fortunate.
search.
You don't sound very enthusiastic about doing this.
I mean, I was expecting just to go sketch. Adventuring's a bit new to me.
There's no
You're-
reason you can't.
Yeah,
You're looking to
that's
go-
true.
To Mountain Home already?
Yeah, I had a contract to go out there and sketch the town for map makers.
And that this she gives a particularly questioning look, so I'm going to get you to roll a deception check, please.
Oh, I'm so good at that.
Surprise.
Oops.
Ooh. I mean, is it
It's-
technically a lie? I don't
don't know.
particularly know.
You don't
Yeah,
actually
we don't
that one,
know.
so. She looks very deeply at Marisol and says, I wonder who it would be that would want a sketch of such a small town.
Doesn't seem relevant.
It might be, depending on who is also out there looking for the exact same things this collector has normally kept quite safely. Forgive me, but if these items are of as much import as this collector seems to like to espouse, and perhaps there are others who are interested in the exact same thing.
Look, if you think I'm going to be robbing anyone, that's really not what I'm looking for. I'm a cartographer. I'm just looking for some pretty places to sketch and some more accurate maps of Galena Mountains in case anyone plans an expedition out there.
Roman will lean a little forward and look at Valona and say, I don't think the rest of us would allow her to steal anything, even if she wanted to.
Valona will look. First of all, she'll look kind of almost trying to look deep into the soul of Marisol, and then turn to Roman and say, "Well, that is good to hear. Of course, that you keep one another accountable. Perhaps that is simply enough that I should simply trust you all, as you've already saved my life. Well, if you are interested in the task, of course, you don't have to decide immediately. I'm not looking to leave myself for a couple of days. need to make sure that my father can handle the shop fine without me. And as I understand it, I might also need to wrap up some other business to make sure that the Blackfists don't bother him, if you will.
I think after today's display, I think your father will be fine for the next couple of days.
Insurance is never a bad thing to acquire.
That is
But also
indeed a
make them more
fact, but
bold.
Nonetheless, when you decide, so, feel free to come and say hello to me at the shop. I mean, you said you were going to come and seek out some musical items anyway, so feel free to hang on by.
yes, I think we'll be stopping by there either later today or tomorrow at the latest.
Is there anything else you needed to tell us?
At this point in time, nothing more than my gratitude, which is immense. And I should also add, if you happen to be finding this tome and this amethyst, recognize that they are likely not the only things there. And that I do not have any desire to relieve you of whatever else it is that you find there.
You make it sound like we should expect there to be something more.
They're kobolds. You should expect there to be something more.
I don't particularly know much of the kobold culture. I'm
They're
from
tricky
quite
and
far south.
assholes.
Okay, so they're basically thieves. I understand now.
Very much so.
I think I can work with that. I've dealt with enough of them.
Alright, and right there is where we're going to take a little bit of a break. For those of you who are kind of tuned in, thank you for joining us. We're taking a break mostly because I like to take this moment to say goodnight to my boys. But this will give you guys a bit of a chance to talk out of character about what you guys want to do next too. So we'll be back in just a few moments.
Like
Oh,
positive
just
in
since
dexterity.
I rerolled her
Well,
stats,
positive
Marisol's
doesn't
are a lot
exactly mean
higher.
proficient.
Well, we can get that fixed right now. Why don't you tell me what I need to fix there?
I think strength's the same at 14.
Okay.
Dex is 17.
Okay.
Con is 16.
We're fixing up some errors in our stats here. So Dex was, you said 17?
Yep.
That's gonna make you have a +4 on the Dex. That's gonna help considerably on things. And what was the other thing that was wrong?
Con's a 16.
It's a 16.
I think Int's wrong too. It's a 14 for her now.
Yeah, 14. Yeah, we had to re-roll her because she had such crazy rolls. At the
Oh,
very beginning.
it wasn't roll. I didn't roll. That's the problem.
Oh, that's what it
And
was.
wisdom was a 16, and charisma is still a wonderful 8.
Okay.
Didn't
wisdom
tell
is
you were
16.
so great.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so just what? Let's check your mods then here too. Mods should still be +3s on those. Okay, great.
+3 for Dex, Con, and wisdom. +2 for strength and int. -1 for charisma.
Okay. What was your? Okay, so your Dex was Sorry,
+3.
+3. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Con's +3. Int's +2. Wiz is +3.
Okay.
And my hit points are also now 17.
There we go. Look at all of those updates. Okay, we'll have them right in there now. And so, what is your armor class changed then at all?
Nope, still 16.
Okay, good. There, it is now corrected. So you will be able to see that when it comes back on the roll around. Or actually, I can actually.
No more looking. It's super weak, y'all. Yay.
Yeah, let's do it here. Let's show you. That's gonna be better. That's what we're looking at. Okay, that is our Marisol the way she should be. Solved. Okay, so Marisol, if you, I will try to send you a quick message back about that one other thing, but I did just get back. We're back on the air, and last we kind of had left off. Vilona had just presented you guys with this opportunity. You guys were also discussing going sailing, and you hadn't really been forced into a decision. So it really is entirely up to the party as to what it is you're going to be doing next. Vilona will actually take her leave at this point in time, and as she said, she was going to go and make sure that she had all of her, as she called it, insurance in place.
So now we have that vote Emery's was calling for.
He's currently not in the call.
Yeah, sorry.
He's
Not
That's
sure
okay.
what
You can still make the
happened.
vote. Emery had to go deal with an emergency, unfortunately. So, we are going to if you still wanted to do that vote, I think
So
I
I
have
have
a pretty
one
good idea what
question
Emery's going
before
with.
we make a vote. How certain are we, Serge, that whatever we're looking for is still going to be in that location specifically? Or are we just shooting in the dark?
Okay, Wendy, how far did my crew travel, typically?
Your crew would have traveled, generally speaking, all over the Moonsea region in particular, with a very occasional jaunt out the Dragon Reach, and this just happened to be one of those occasional jaunts. Generally speaking, you would have been trying to get to Impilter.
Okay, I will relay that information.
Well, I know where I'm voting then. Are we doing this just say it when we have it, or are we raising hands?
May
we
as
have
well
to do
just
this
say it.
properly. Alright,
Ma-
I prefer the mountain.
Mountain home.
I'm not.
You have the best chance of coming back from mountain, so I vote mountain for you, but my vote doesn't count, so I cheer you on.
I'm not particularly a fan of the waters, and not exactly a fan of kobold creatures, but I think I'm a little safer on land, being as I'll be getting a new set of armor that I definitely probably will not be able to swim in.
And Emery's, your vote, I don't think matters here.
Emery would actually carry on suggesting, if we are going to do the mountain home, then it seems important that we use whatever we get out of it to help on a ship. So maybe see if we can find, what was it called again? The Black Sun?
Yep, the Black Sun.
So let's, if we are to do the mountain home, let's use it as a stepping stone to the next thing.
Okay.
Alright, I can get behind that.
Right. We should probably do some prep work before headed out to unknown locations filled with evil creatures.
All right, so here's how we're going to do this. We're going to try and do this in a relatively faster fashion, by way of saying it's you're going to decide how many days do you guys want to take before you guys decide you're going to go.
Well,
Give the downtime.
I need 2 days for my chainmail to be finished, so at least that length.
Just checking that out. Lovely little journal. It's actually going to be ready tomorrow.
Oh, okay, that works. So at least until tomorrow then, unless anyone else has other things that they would like to do that take longer than that.
Would we need like winter clothes or anything going up into the mountains? Like, is it one of those mountains ranges where it's perpetually snowing?
You could roll a. This would be a. Now you know what we're gonna with what you already know about other places. I'd say you would know that if you had to go into the higher elevations, it might get kind of cold. But we're also just we're in the summer. We're just getting after the summer, right? So it's still relatively warm, pretty close to everywhere.
Okay.
There's a good chance we'll be fine.
Do you want to get tents by chance?
That's not a terrible idea.
I think some camping gear would not be opposed.
Honestly, a mule to carry it would also be pretty useful.
Do you think we can afford that at this time?
We just
I
made
think
50
if we
fucking
split,
gold.
I think if we split the cost between us, we may have a chance.
It'll be a plow nag for that money. Sorry, Wendy.
What tent said and fuel you wanted?
Could we make that 2 tents? Just because, like, then we could split 3 and 3.
Do some of us already have tents due to like starting items?
Not
I
tents
do
won't be
not.
in those. No.
Okay, so then we're
like bedrolls
Some
or
might
something
have
like that.
sleeping
Yeah.
bedrolls are the big one.
yeah, because I at least have a bedroll, so
I do not.
That's another good thing, then. Do we all have, like, camping gear?
No.
I have a bedroll and mess kit stuffed
Well,
in
I'm
my
not
food.
sharing.
I didn't say we had to share bedrolls.
I'm just
so
making sure that.
you would be able to find at one of the other local shops. You guys know of there Barthen's Provisions being the one that you would probably be. Barthen's Provisions? I don't think that's right. No, that's the wrong campaign. Sorry. But there is a couple of shops there's one's called Jerome's. There's another one that starts with a C, whose name I can't remember off the top of my head right now. But you would be easily be able to find tents. They're all 2-man tents. So if you wanted to have enough for everybody with you, or have some, maybe say no, one person's just going to be on watch the entire time. You guys get to decide that. So it's each for around 2 gold.
So, how many tents are we actually? Oh wait, Lumina is not joining us on this journey, is she?
That's correct.
No.
We
So
still
then
need
we're a party of 5 then.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if we have one person on watch, they don't particularly need to have a tent.
That's fair.
I mean, we could also be swapping places. Like, I mean, Emery's will sleep, only has to trance for 4 hours, so he
We have
could do
bedrolls,
a half watch.
Also, with bedrolls, we don't need to sleep in the tents. The tents are purely there for if it gets rainy, primarily.
We're heading into the mountains. That, as far as I understand of mountain ranges, it gets quite cold and snowy.
How high up are we going? I don't know.
I have no idea. I don't exactly go mountain climbing.
Marisol.
Good question, Wendy.
Well, you know that the caps of the Galena Mountains are always snow covered, but they just because they're snow covered doesn't mean that they're that it's actually cold up there all the time. It's just sometimes that there's so much snow that gathers on their peaks that they never actually fully melt. It could still be quite warm, and being as it is just after midsummer, it's probably going to be quite warm.
Okay.
Mountain home on the peak of the mountain?
You don't know that for sure.
No, and it's warm. You might want to get those big rubber boots. Or not rubber, but that doesn't exist. But big oil skin boots.
Look, I'm always suggesting tents for the privacy.
Lashes.
Yeah. You were also talking about a mule, and so a mule is would go for about 8 gold, and that would be really easy to get.
Seriously? Damn.
They carry a lot of weight though. Like they'll carry 420 pounds for you.
Okay, sick.
Is a mule going to be able to scale the mountain, though?
I mean, I assume we're not going to be free climbing.
There has to be a trail.
I
don't expect us to be actually be climbing the mountain.
Yeah, you would rather the mule than a horse, anyway.
That's true.
True.
And if you're interested in getting some feed for the mule as well, you could probably get enough feed for the mule that would be around, depending on how long you think the trip is going to be, which you could actually do a little bit asking around to find out how long that would be. It would be about 5 copper a day, so not a lot of money to feed the animal, and for that matter, you might decide that depending on the route you
Graze.
choose, there might be simply grazing.
Buy a bag just to be safe.
10 days worth, probably more than enough.
Yeah. It'll last long too.
Sure. Okay.
We should also make sure we're stocked up on food.
Actually,
Rations for ourselves.
that's a good question out of character. Are we doing ration counting?
I'm not doing ration counting, but if every once in a while when you do a larger trip like the one you're planning, I'll simply say this is about how much food you would need for this period of time, and therefore here's the cost. At the end of that trip, or if the trip ends up going a lot longer than you expect, I'll give you a warning. Yeah, you're probably gonna want food right about now. That way we don't have to worry about the ration counting.
Okay. Alright, so is it a no to the tents, guys? Or
Tents
yes
are
to them?
investment, at the very least.
Okay, so 2 tents, the mule, food for 10 days for the mule and us. So how much is that likely to be?
That's going to be, let's see here, times. Let's do some quick mental mathing. For 10 days, 15, plus 2 plus 2, 20. It's going to be in the neighborhood of 20 gold for the whole works.
Oh,
Okay.
that's surprisingly affordable.
And
Do we
divisible by
potentially
5?
want to... are there any other things we could think of if we're doing purchasing?
I'm going to get my shield.
True.
Fair.
Do we all want to chip in 5 gold, except for maybe Lumina, since she won't be coming with?
I think
Then
we
it
can
would.
work with that.
And
Well,
you can
the-
also leave your excess gold with me. I don't think you're going to need it on the mountain. Just joking. I'm just joking.
The dragon hoarding is already showing.
Hilarious. It would actually
I'm holding down the
4
fort.
gold each. It would be if everybody chipped in 4 gold each, you would have all of that stuff.
Yes, I will chip in because I want you all to come back. To me.
Oh, sweet.
We'll
Lumina.
We'll come back.
Come back to me.
I don't exactly expect us to be going to save a city in the middle of nowhere and then saying, hey, we're going to live here for the rest of our lives.
So who's putting
You
this
never
in
know.
I mean, we almost did
won't
that
be
here.
staying there for the rest of my life. I do have obligations elsewhere.
Actually, could we get like a party loot sheet, maybe? Like the for the mule, just like a inventory sheet that's just like labeled mule.
Yeah, I'll put it in the. Pardon me. I'll put it in the Discord, and we'll have a party.
A text chat?
Yeah, it'll just be a text chat. Party materials or something like that. I don't know.
Sounds
I'll come up with
good.
something. Yeah, let me. I'll try and do that when we get doing some
Like
other things.
resources or something? I don't
Yeah,
know.
that sounds good. So, I will also say, Serge, you said you wanted to have a shield. Is there anything specific you wanted with it, or just get one?
Just get one at this point.
Okay.
I'd also like to buy some traveling clothes.
Let's close. So if you, Autumn, if you're spending some money on traveling clothes, you'll find some for 2 gold.
Perfect.
And you're gonna find for 10 gold, you'd find a fairly strong shield, as well.
Okay.
And Roman, we're gonna say that during this point in time, you would have gone back to Yana Hammerbound and got your armor.
Chainmail?
Too. Yeah.
Cool.
What does that do to your AC now?
Gives me an 18.
Nice.
Because I don't have to worry about dex anymore.
All right, so Roman's AC is now 18. I'll put that up there
Yes.
on our stats sheets. Roman AC of 18. I got lots to update here.
I do know Shield of Faith. I currently don't have it prepared.
Of course not.
I don't think I will. Just because I have other spells that I would rather have prepared, I think.
There you go. Well, next time it comes up on the stream, you'll see your AC is now improved. Is there anything else that we need
Nice.
to be getting over the course of the next couple of days? You guys interested in
I would have
buying
got.
anything?
Well, if Serge bought his shield, I probably would have gotten my hand axe back from the makeshift shield.
Yes.
Oh no, oh no. I went to the armory alone, and then when I got done, I like threw the barrel lid away and put the axe in the back of my belt.
Okay. Okay, so Serge
Okay.
has the axe.
Are you asking me for it?
I would have at least mentioned it.
I thought you said you don't use weapons.
I didn't say I don't. I said I prefer not to.
Then why are you carrying it in the first place?
Because if you are standing in front of me as we have this conversation and I need to hit you with something, I would rather hit you with something heavy.
And I'd rather you not hit me with anything at all.
Well, then don't give me a reason to. And we won't.
Gives Roman a very hard stare and just silently hands the axe back to him.
Oh, can I do a roleplay thing?
Go for it.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, wait, did you finally read that message that I put way back up there for what you said to me?
Wait, oh, I did read that.
Okay.
But this is about the dwarf.
Oh,
Same day that we get the vote and all that settled, I'd actually like to corner Autumn whenever he's like by himself somewhere.
oh boy.
It's surprisingly difficult.
Surprisingly, yeah.
You're gonna manage it, but you're now very aware Autumn is keeping his distance.
Oh, good. I stock up, quiet as always. Fists balling and unballing at my sides, but looking more apprehensive than angry at the moment.
I assume I see you.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, no,
Not trying to
just
hide.
like I've got my book as like death grip, like hugging it as close to me as I can right now, giving you
White
eyes.
knuckles right now. I look up, glancing over the book and the tight knuckle grip. Autumn, about earlier Valona. Thanks for having my back with all her questions about my motivations. I'm not a thief. I'm not going up there to cause shit. It's just this family business is quite the inheritance to have. So it's stressful is all.
I understand to an extent. I not to sound mean. I didn't quite do it for you. I just didn't think it mattered to her. I assume our business is our business. Also, I don't want anyone taking stories that we might have, and if they publish them before me, my life's work is just and like he's completely dropped his guard at this point. The book's back to floating nearby. Yeah, I don't know what I'd do. I'd have to redo an entire dissertation. He's kind of mumbling to himself.
I nod at the mumbling, look around the room, kind of like, okay. Gotcha. Just, yeah, in light of, our last conversation, surprising.
Don't worry, I haven't told anyone.
Good, because if you would, I'd probably have to kill you.
Why? Sorry, I need to know. It helps my writing.
This isn't going in your writing, and until I can trust that it's not, I'm not telling you.
So, I hate to say this because I'm pretty sure you're going to punch me after I say it. And I take like a step as far back as I can. I assume I'm like right next to a wall.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's probably going to be published no matter what, and probably not seen by anyone outside of the tome. So,
yeah. Well, maybe you can punish something with some omissions in it then. Because I'll say this. Some things need to be kept close to the heart, or they're going to get people hurt.
So, again, almost no one would ever see this book. And I'm very aware of this fact. This isn't for the public.
Well, who's it for then?
For the House of Tomes.
Is this like the House of Maps and Silvery Moon? Is this some giant library?
Is this
I
Marisol
believe
asking me
it's
or Autumn?
I think it's both.
Autumn. Well,
Okay.
both really.
Yeah, because I assume it's similar.
It's quite similar. The House of Many Tomes is a mostly a temple to Ogma, and so you can use that to kind of describe it.
Yeah, so Ogma is the deity of knowledge and like.
Yes, Denir is the
knowledge.
deity of writing. Ogma is the deity of knowledge, and yeah. So House of Many Tomes is the one that's dedicated to Ogma. You're still trying to get to a different place altogether, but.
Like, I want access to some information, and this is how I'm getting it.
There is.
From what I understand, they're
Sorry.
locking this book away, and it will never see the light of day.
Yeah, well, I'm affiliated with those who work in the shadows, and I'm not taking risks, not when my family's concerned.
I have a feeling anything I say to assure you of security is going to be not worth my effort, so...
Autumn, why don't
fine,
you roll
for
a
now.
persuasion check? Okay, and so Marisol, I'm going to get you to... you get to be the one who decides the DC on this one. How hard would it be? kind of the scale that I like to go with is 15's fairly hard for the average person. 20 is darn near impossible for the average person. How do you feel that persuasion would have done?
I think it'd be a solid 17. Marisol is very much protecting people with her secret keeping, but a small part of her really is looking for some help with this whole thing. In character, my hands ball at my sides, but eventually unclench from being a fist. I sigh deeply, long, and pinch the bridge of my nose before looking at Autumn. My family is in danger. What you heard at that bar is only scratching the surface of a decade-long battle with some very scary people who I can't trust to keep my family safe. I'm about the only thing standing between us and some really bad fates. I need this business to survive for more than just a livelihood. And I'm telling you this so that you know what's at stake with me.
All right. So first and foremost, Odom is not writing this down because he's still kind of afraid. But he's gonna look to you, and this is probably the most not analyzing he's looked so far. Usually he looks like he's trying to just discern anything about a person and figure out descriptions of them. This is one of the first times you've ever seen him not looking like that. So I would like to help you if I can. For selfish reasons primarily, but I'm willing to help. Because I assume if your family is safe and all that is dealt with, then you will have no qualms about me writing in my book.
One person isn't going to make that much of a difference, and
I think history would disagree with you.
Not against this force, I'm afraid. Look, traveling with this group alone is risking it more than I'm willing to do at the moment. For now, I thank you for your offer, but some things need to be done by myself.
My offer still stands.
I nod, sigh, and walk away.
Autumn is just as soon as Marisol is out of sight, he drops his whole facade. He looks like a wreck. He looks like, holy shit, that was intense. I thought I was gonna die. Heavy breathing, just a wreck.
It is so terrible that I have no qualms about him being totally petrified of me.
Use your fear.
I'm just waiting for the day where you two duke it out and something goes wrong.
Who do you think's gonna win, though?
It depends on what level we're at. Yeah, it depends on what level we're at.
It depends on what level I am.
It depends
As
on
of right now, Marisol would win. I think once we start hitting higher levels, Autumn would probably at least hold his own, if not win.
Let me put it this way. It depends on whether she's fighting him or Bigby's hand.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Alright, so is there anything else that you guys want to do before you guys start kind of setting yourselves up to take off?
Oh, music boxes.
Yes.
Sure.
Can I pull Marisol aside at some point?
Do you want to come with us on the way to get the... Do you want to be walking towards Rilo shop and have the conversation?
Sure, but I'm lagging behind the rest of you.
Me and Emrys, I assume, would go to the library because we're nerds.
And you'd probably take Lumina with you.
Potentially.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I think
sounds
that's
good.
where Lumina is going anyways, as far as I understand. Unless she wants to come with us to get a music box first.
So
I'll just go to the library. It's okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask for the music box. Sorry, for the Surge and Marisol conversation to happen here first, and I gotta get set up for something else here real quick. So you go ahead and do that.
So, you've had a life, apparently.
Yeah, more like feels like 6 sometimes running a business, but is what it is.
I know that feeling.
Really, you don't really look like you're much older than what, 20,
What? How old are you?
26.
Runs fingers through his hair in kind of a bashful sort of way. I'm 28.
Oh, well, got some great skin there.
It's
Looks like you moisturize.
sorry.
I have an 8 charisma. I'm not good at this.
Keep going.
Please just give me a second. It's lack of the facial hair, isn't it?
Wouldn't know. Don't need to shave. Despite what some people think.
Just never. It won't grow in. That's all.
It's all good. I slap a hand on his back. I'm gonna assume that stumbles him a bit. You'll get there someday.
Maybe. I don't know. Who knows? Might have some elf in my blood somewhere.
I mean, is that typical for Genasi? Sorry, I haven't really been around much of your kind.
I wouldn't know. I didn't exactly do an in-depth study on my particular race, like those two, and I point at Odom and Imri's.
Yeah, they're certainly something.
Anyway, why are you out here? Why are you going up there anyway?
Sketches and now a job. I mean, why exactly are you coming with us? I don't think we got off on the best feet.
That's fair. Those people in the bar that you went over to talk to. Who are they?
Business acquaintances, nothing more. Why do you ask? At this, I'm looking a whole lot more tense. My back is ramrod straight.
Just... Let's just say I know a bad lie when I see one.
Yeah, well, I'm not really the talking type, more of the variant that waits and listens and pounces when it's good for her. So, yeah.
I like put out a hand and stop her from walking and turn to look at her. Look, I don't care about whatever secrets you're hiding. I just don't want to be walking into something that's a rat's nest that I don't want to touch.
I know about as much as you do, and what little else I know is not going to be involving the group.
Very well. So what happened to your parents?
Quite the conversation turn, but sure, just ask about all my shit. What happened to your fucking parents?
You act like I knew them.
Fair. Why the interest, though?
Just curious.
Well, if you gotta know, they're dead, probably at the bottom of the Sea of Fallen Stars. Never saw a body, but we did hold a funeral. Happy?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, a lot of stories have been said, not a lot of action about it, but I've got a business to run and family to take care of, so.
At least you know they're safe in the gods' hands.
Yeah, not really caring too much about their opinions aside Joaquin, so.
I can respect that. Don't really care
Yeah.
about the gods much myself, other than as long as Selune keeps the stars so I can navigate.
Yeah, she's a pretty good one. It's her temple, and then she is pretty nice, from what I've been told. But this whole thing with your ship, pirates, that whole deal, how do we know that you're not about to get us into a bunch of trouble?
Trust me, all I want to do is get back to my ship. I have a score to settle with some people.
Ah, a reckless type that wants to get vengeance. Gotcha.
If you did a half of it, you would agree with me.
Well, I don't, so. Actually, can I insight check Surge on what that means?
Sure, go for it.
Never mind.
Okay, fair enough. There you go.
Do I have to roll deception against that, or
No, just I
Okay.
think it's already been conceded, if you will.
Yeah, no, I'm not bothering.
I've asked you plenty of questions. What do you want to know about me?
I don't know, I kind of fell into this group and everyone's been coming and going. It's a bit hard to keep track of who's on my side at this point.
I just arrived here.
Yeah, a little bit more reason to question. Yeah, fair. I don't know, where are you from? Your accent doesn't seem like from one of the city-states.
Wendy, am I allowed to
Yeah.
tell you, do something I haven't told you yet?
Okay, so we need to go someplace else, or you need to send me a message here real quick?
Nah, it's fine.
Okay.
I'll just say it.
Okay.
I hail from a place called Fae. Have you ever heard of it?
Wendy, have I heard of it? What would I know about it?
Okay, Marisol, how are you going to know about it? Hey, roll a history check.
That's
Yeah,
much
you know
nicer.
about it. Yeah, you, and it's mostly because Thay has a very strong reputation. It is a relatively combative, unforgiving place. The one thing that you're particularly familiar with is a group called the Red, a group of wizards called the Red Wizards of Thay. Generally speaking, these are not the most well, they would not qualify as either lawful or chaotic or any other type of good. Generally speaking, they are very self-serving and oftentimes very powerful mages. And Thay is... it's a long distance away, though. But you have heard of these red wizards, and you know of these red wizards as, generally speaking, they're rather tattooed, and so... And they don't usually tend to hide who they are because of... either because they actually do have skill, or because they're a little pompous.
Okay. My lip curls a bit at that, and I snort. You meaning to tell me you're like with the Red Wizards or some shit?
Like, actually full-blown starts laughing. Not on your life.
I mean, takes all kinds, that's all I'm saying.
Kind of reaches up and tugs on his right ear. They owned me for a while. not anymore.
You mean like the slave kind?
It's not uncommon for my type to be enslaved there.
Not uncommon for there to be slavery around here.
All the plain touch types in that area are just, pardon the language, but rare delicacies, if you will.
Actual disgust contorts my lips, and you almost hear me growling at that. Yeah, there's a lot of fucked up people in this world.
It's right about that point in time that you guys would arrive at the lead stopper shop.
Can I add one more thing real quick?
Yeah, of course. Before you guys go in.
Like when Serge was tugging on his right ear, you notice he has like a single silver stud earring in that ear.
Is there some sort of like significance that I'd know of with that?
What do you think, Serge?
I
I mean,
mean,
his ear is actually attached, so that's. I mean, that means he's not a welcomer.
I was rolling with the idea that slaves get like tagged like cows there, so you typically have like an earring with your house symbol.
Would I know of that based on my previous history roll?
This is Marisol asking. Yeah, you would totally know that for sure. And that you would know
Okay.
that actually, but you wouldn't know that necessarily from a Thayan thing. You would actually know that because you will have seen this happen at Melvont, where slaves are rather common.
I love my hometown so much.
I feel like Roman is the only person who came from a semi-normal area.
We are not on the Sword Coast. We are in the shit part of Faerûn.
Yeah, but Roman, give your country another year; it'll all change.
Oh, I know. Well, the thing is, in that same year, though, that conflict gets resolved, so...
Decisive.
Pretty,
So,
yeah.
As you guys kind of wrap up that conversation, enter into the lead stopper shop. Rillo is there, and he's kind of just looking around for a couple of tools that he seems to have misplaced. And just as you happen to actually walk in, it's Velonas comes down from an upper level down the stairs, and she takes one really quick look at you, and raises her eyebrow, like as if asking, "So, what do you? Are you doing it?" Without actually saying any words.
Who is she looking at?
She's looking at, well, Serge and Marisol in particular, because they're the ones who are going into the shop.
Oh, I thought we were
Oh.
all going in.
Or are you all going?
Yeah, we were the
I-
last
the
one.
three of us at least are.
Okay, for sure. Then
Yeah, I
Roman, you would
thought-
be included in that too. So she would make this gesture towards all of you.
I'll give her a nod.
Okay, and then immediately she kind of settles back into this slightly vacant, but not, but as though she's healing kind of look, and go to say, "Father, I found it," and provide him with a couple of pieces of what basically look to you guys like metalwork. Might almost double for thieves' tools, but isn't. And oh, thank you, Valona. And our friends are back.
Yes, hello.
The table that you did place Valona on is now very much cleared off. There is, interestingly enough, there's actually no blood on it. You suspected there would have been, but it has been a day or two since then, so maybe they found some way of getting rid of it. And he's actually, immediately as he sees that, he's putting all sorts of musical gadgets and gadgets all over that counter. Come take a look. And looks
Alright.
at Marisol as well. Says, "And did you get a chance to sketch?" And we'll say at this point in time you did.
Yeah. I'll pull out a from my cartography case a small scroll of paper. On it is a group of 7 people. And let me pull up Marisol's backstory in order to make sure that I describe him well. On it is a middle-aged human man, but with white pupilless eyes and silver hair, dark skin. There's a young-looking female Goliath, tall, ashen skin, black tews with spider webs all over. In the middle is a hobgoblin in heavy armor, with long black hair, very stocky, with a holding in his hand like a beam of light. Next to him's a half elf with long platinum hair, tan skin, large ears, holding a shield and a sword. Then there's a tiny goblin next to a boar with a wide grin on his face as he holds a mug of ale and has an arm slung over the boar. And on the end is a very large, very wide, very jovial looking orcish man with a mohawk and a beard and a giant great axe. And on his arm is a small human woman with a small scar on her chin, brown eyes, black curly hair. And if anyone's looking at this piece of parchment, those last 2 in particular, if you had to guess, those could actually be Marisol's parents based on the resemblance. I placed the parchment in front of Rilo and lined my finger over it almost sentimentally. This group, an anniversary is coming up soon, and I don't know, I thought something with a little tune could be nice. There's a lot of memories we have with the group, so if like their image could be on it, or like, I don't know, a color scheme. I don't really know how you want to do it, but I thought like a semi-Renaissance style painting with a lot of bold, bright, vibrant colors and very stark lines on their faces might look really good.
And he's just smiling as the description is unfolding to him. You are quite the artist, indeed. Is there a particular melody that you're hoping for?
Yeah. I start humming a song that sounds a whole lot like a tavern song, before breaking out into Orcish. And anyone who speaks Orc would know that it's a song about a group of 7 people working themselves to death and then continuing on with their jobs because of the bonds of camaraderie they made. And the last line ends with, "And so is the tale of the working rates, dead to the bone, but pockets filled with gold."
Marvelous. And meanwhile, he's just doing some furious scribbling down as you're singing the melody, and he's trying to. It's obvious he's trying to capture it some way in his own strange gnomish kind of print. He doesn't understand a lick of what you're saying, but he gets the melody. Now, is it what I hear that your group is leaving the city? Is that actually true now?
For a short time, I think we will be, yes.
Where are you leaving to?
We're gonna take a little bit of a hike up north.
So is this the kind of journey that's going to take a 10-day? And you know what? At this point in time, let's kind of manage this a little bit differently. I'm going to say, who is it amongst our group of people that is going to be the most likely to ask where the heck Mountain Home might be?
I feel like it's me.
Okay, So then, why don't I get you to quickly roll a oh gosh, what would this be? I would say this should probably be like a let's make it an investigation check because you have to find people who would know the information, determine whether or not it would be right. Okay, so you
Yikes.
are pretty convinced that Mountain Home is on the north side of the Galena Mountains, which immediately makes you think that this is probably going to be a month-long journey.
Yeah, I'm not saying anything because I don't want to go here in the first place.
I'll give advantage, or I'll give somebody else a chance to roll it too, just cause it could be interesting for roleplay anyway. And I'm pretty certain.
I got a
that Serge wouldn't be willing
-1.
to-
I am not going to be able to pass that one.
I
Emery
think
would, actually. Emery totally.
Is Emery with us? I thought he went with Odom
Would-
and
Yeah,
Lumina to the
because
library.
This would be probably part of his downtime as he'd look this up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Actually, would cartographer's tools like give me a plus to things like this? Because I think there is something that applies to it.
I would say that it would give you advantage on it for at the very least. If you
Okay,
wanted
cool.
to go for it, we'll go for your roll and see how things go with your advantage, and we'll not use Emery.
Never mind.
Okay.
We are really going to get lost.
Now I have to stick with that. So, you know it's north. You know it is possibly north of the Greylands of Thar. And based off, if Serge were to share anything, well, I guess I'd let Serge decide what Serge is going to share. But you know that it's north based off of the descriptions. You also know that that it is some sort of connective road that's north between north of Melvont as well, and so it makes you think that it's probably on the West Galena path. But that's about as much as you could figure out.
Wait, so
I would-
we're gonna be out traveling for a month?
That's what you
It's
think,
a
Serge.
possibility.
I'm blurting this.
It's a possibility. I don't particularly know this place.
And I know what I need to do before we leave.
Okay.
Complain more.
I'll tell you later.
Roman, is there anything you're getting at?
Yeah, I'm looking at the different musical, seeing what kind of tunes they play.
Sure, let's get you to roll an investigation check. Let's see what we find here.
Oh boy, investigation. I'm not good at this one either.
No, this is
Still have a
mostly just to see
-1.
what's there? It's totally. It's
Oh,
basically
okay.
just a fancy luck roll.
All right. Oh, did it not go through? Oh, there
No,
we
no,
go.
it did. It's just taking its time.
Ah.
Yeah. There is no
Wow.
music box here that has an axe on it or anything along those lines, like was once asked beforehand. Melodies you hear are not melodies that you're familiar with. They all sound elvish to you.
Ah. I don't understand Elvish, so. Well,
Well, and to be clear, these music boxes they don't have they don't have lyrics to them. It just sounds like it's got an elvish musical quality to it. Kind of like you can tell what Russian patriotism music sounds like. You can tell what elvish music sounds like.
okay. All right. I guess since nothing particularly fits what I think I'm looking for. All right. Well, we have one request. So I think I can make another.
Autumn, you're gonna say something?
Yeah, I just want to point out, Autumn is probably helping find a map in the library
Okay, guess
to
good.
be like
We're gonna be getting to
get
the
that
library here in
information.
just a sec.
just quick giving the heads up.
Okay, cool. So you're gonna put in a request then?
Yeah, something more of a celestial tune.
Ah.
Not particularly looking for lyrics, but
Okay, and so he celestial. So, And actually, yeah, Rilla's going to have something for you for that, actually. One of those music boxes is definitely going to have this very much ethereal, crystalline kind of feel that makes you feel like it's a celestial kind of thing.
Okay. That's kind of cool. Well, I think I've made my choice then.
And that is a beautiful melody too. It's inspired by an Empyrean of Torm, actually. Torm isn't really well listened to around here. Everybody still thinks Tyr's coming back, but nonetheless.
Interesting. Well, thank you for showing this to me.
Pleasure. Serge, are you getting anything while you're here too?
They're all elvish tunes, right?
Well, you could roll an investigation and check and see what you actually hear.
Yeah, I'm just bad at looking.
Yeah. You know what? That's fair. Please don't roll another nat one.
We'll get them all out of the way and then we'll fight something later. So actually, they don't all sound
Okay.
elvish to you. They actually sound like they're generally speaking, are from mostly the Dales, the Dale lands. You'll also, and you'll be familiar with that kind of music. You'll also be familiar with some of the music from kind of the eastern side of the Moon Sea, and so which has a much more heavy jaunt kind of feel to it. A couple of tunes sound dwarvish.
Like, would there be anything in particular that I would likely have heard on a ship somewhere?
Definitely, there's going to be there are going to be quite a few there that sound like they are working songs for the ship, for sure.
Okay, then I'm gonna pick one that has a melody that I would have heard from, like, from my time on the sea, that sounds the least like bells. I don't know how to, least of that tinny ring that music boxes often have.
So, well, then the one that you actually end up coming up with is one that actually seems to have this strange little air pump built into it, and out of the air pump comes a much more reedy sound, almost like it's being played by sham or something like that, built into the music box. So it's not a whistling or a high-pitched belly type thing. It is very much a poorly played one sounds like a sick duck on steroids, but this sounds really nice because it sounds really close to a sailor song that you've heard before.
All right, I'll take that one.
And there you go. Yeah, okay. Then that we'll say, for the sake of discussion, that you guys have wrapped up your business here. Valona will actually kind of pull one of you aside while the other two are looking at the music boxes, and just kind of give you a quick little thank you. If you can't find me, find Olivia when you come back.
I'm assuming this is probably going towards Marisol since she's done.
Probably, yeah. And
Marisol was. Sorry.
So you go ahead.
Oh no! If he was saying something to me, I absolutely would have been zoned out.
Okay, so you wouldn't have heard it anyway.
I thought this was Valona speaking.
It was Valona speaking to Marisol, saying,
Okay.
when you return, if you can't find me, find Olivia.
Oh, on the second go around, I probably would have heard that.
Okay.
Give a stiff nod and try and make it not too obvious.
Okay. And so you guys get your music boxes, or you get your orders placed at the very least, if nothing else, and you make your way back out. At this point in time, we're going to switch over to the people who went to the library. That was thank you guys for your patience on that. So, you guys have actually been to Newfoundland before, so you've gone through the guard at the walls before, and that's not unusual. You've even walked past Mantor's library, but you didn't really get a chance to take it fully in. And so Mantor's library is a rather austere location. It's the colonnades are sun bleached. They that frame the library. There's a solitary bench that sits next to a pond right at the very front of this property, and it's all right smack in the middle of an area known as Scholars Square. The grounds around the library are very well manicured. There's blooming flowers and berry bushes that are all that you can actually hear the buzz of some of the bees that have come by as well. So as you enter the library, immediately you're taken by the expanse of the space. It is definitely one of the largest buildings in Flan, and it's lined with books all up and down the insides here. As soon as you walk in, you are greeted by a fairly young, scrawny-looking fellow who's got ink all over his hands, wearing regular clothes, actually fairly nondescript clothes for that matter, but has ink all over his hands, who was hurriedly carrying books from one location to another, sees you guys enter. And so this will be Emery, Lumina, and Autumn, I think. And he'll stop and kind of turn to you and say, yes, can I help you?
We were wondering if we could have access to the library.
Is there a specific thing that you're looking for?
It's a couple of things, actually.
All right. Bear with me for a moment. Just have a seat here for a second. I will go find the scribe master for you. And he quickly hurries off before you get a chance to respond. So you're basically looking at this larger space. You get the feel from looking at some of the other people that are in the space, which there isn't a lot, that they're very, very much looking directly at you, and you don't know that that's actually necessarily a welcome look. And you wait for a few moments. Before long, a young lady comes down to you. She's got blonde hair. She is a halfling with short blonde hair. Looks like it's been kind of crudely cut. Maybe she did it herself. She also has lots of heavy stains all over her hands with bright blue ink. The clothes are really well made, but there's still blue ink all over the clothes as well, for that matter as well. And she approaches you and says, yes, I am Castor Brandywine. How can I help you?
We would like access to your collection.
And you are...
Odom Enilkum, scribe of the House of Many Tomes.
And you'll
And
carry
I
on.
am-
Oh, sorry, carry on.
And I am Lumina, a traveler from far away.
And Emery will introduce himself as well. Themselves as well. And Castra will... as she's getting introduced to you, her eyes are going to open up. Oh, you're the Hanging Hands, aren't you?
Is that what we've been named by the guards?
Potentially, I do not know.
I assume that you're the, I guess, adventurers. She kind of has this strange grimace to her face when she says the word adventurers that are often found frequenting a small tavern on the north end of town.
Yes, I guess that would probably be us.
I have to forgive me if that's not a phrase that you've heard, but a couple of the scribes have referred to you as the Hanging Hands. Though I must admit, it's probably not the greatest moniker unless you're intending to remind the Black Fist on a regular
It seems
basis.
seems very morbid.
And we did no hanging. Don't
We
remember
really need to
doing
work on our
hanging, do you?
public relations.
Well, nonetheless, your reputation has preceded you. You're looking for particularly lore, or what is
we
it you're
need
looking for?
any information we can get about a location. If you have any books about genealogies, that would be Wonderful. And I kind of like look to the other two. Anything else we can think of?
Perhaps get into legends. I will be staying for a while, and I hope frequent visits are not forbidden.
Certainly, if you are keeping everything inside the library, there should be no issues, of course. Come with me, if you will.
What are your conditions on scribing copies?
Oh, scribing? Here at Mentor's Library, it is not a significant concern. If you were to go to Denler's Tower, it'd be a different story altogether. But
Perfect.
Here at
Lead
Mentor's Library, your information is very... the information should be made public in my mind, but it does need to be managed and curated, and so that's why it's very well guarded here, if you will. So come with me, and I will take you to the scribe room. If you are planning on staying here for a time, I don't have any specific study quarters available at the moment, but as one becomes available, you could certainly take it if you needed to. And so
Thank
she
you.
will actually go through the process of taking you up to a very long, to a scribe room where there is a very long table and a whole bunch of people. A couple of them you actually recognize from the Laughing Goblin, who are stretched out, including the person who introduced you, who first greeted you at the library. And everybody's opening books, writing various notes down. The ink is all over the place. You do see that there are a few rooms that are kind of offshooting from this large, longer tabled room. That where as you walk past one, you can actually see through a crack in the door. There's somebody who's huddled over top of candles and books, and sometimes the stacks of books are rather tall. And you're given a space at the longer table, where some of the other people were kind of watching you from in the first place. And kind of guided towards a variety of different locations based off of what you described to her, to Castra, as what you're looking for. So let's get you three to roll. No, actually, get the two of you guys to roll a quick investigation check. But Autumn, we're going to make this investigation check first about locations, if you're okay with that.
I would, before we begin, I would like to cast a spell.
Okay, go for it.
Because we're a little short on time, more or less, and I just don't really want to wait around for 10 minutes casting a ritual. I'm gonna open up my spell book, flip to a couple of pages, find a section, reach into my component pouch, grab a small little wooden puppet, set it on the book for a second, get my hands ready, and say, Abotheth Umath Zuma. The book shakes real violently, real quick, and then I grab the puppet and make it strike a, dancing pose, effectively.
Okay.
And my unseen servant is created.
Beautiful. We have an unseen servant. That excites me. Okay, so, is there any specific instructions you're going to give to your unseen servant?
I kind of just am going to have it around and helping me.
Okay, fair enough. So
as we're doing tasks.
Yeah, so for every once in a while as this thing progresses, it's not just Autumn's spellbook that kind of floats. It's now going to be, all of the stacks of books up to a maximum of 10 pounds, because that's what the spell can do. Kind of running around. Floating around beside him, basically. To everybody else, that's what they'll see. Okay, so let's roll some investigation checks. Autumn, let's get you to roll one for the locations of stuff.
What am I rolling? Is that investigation?
Investigation, yeah. Looking through the library. 16. Okay, so it takes you about an hour of going through a whole bunch of maps, particularly of the northern Moonsea region, before you find one where there is, and it's written, thankfully for you, it's written in Dwarvish, about a...
It doesn't matter.
That's true, but it feels natural to you nonetheless, about a town that is unnamed on the West Galena Trail, approximately, and I have had my map up handy for this. well, I'll give you the description. You get an idea as to where the location of a town that has no name. No other map has ever had a indication of mountain home. So this is your best bet.
Perfect.
The other location.
I assume I have an estimation about how long it is that we'll get to later.
Yep, absolutely. I'm just gonna pull that up here for you in a second. Let's go for Lumina. Hang on, what was the other? What was the other topics we were gonna go for?
Oda mentioned genealogies. I said like local history or legends. If we like get to that later, I'll probably do that on my own though.
Okay.
So genealogies, maybe something around Xandria Weltrim,
Okay.
and like families that her family had rivalries with, maybe something like that.
Okay. So then the Xandria Weltrim, you will actually find something fairly quickly, I would think. Let's see what it comes up with though. So go ahead and roll an investigation check real quick. I didn't see that. Oh,
21.
that is a very nice roll. Okay, so that is going to be a bit of a dump here. Just give me a couple of seconds to find that one for you.
Oh, get a fresh sheet of paper. Wait.
Yeah, right. And let's find that information because I should have it in here. There we go. Let's see here. Okay, so what you learn about you do find a good chunk of information about a creature, about a person named Xandria Weltran. Never any indication of her being a dragon outright, but you do get that she was an extremely beautiful and very well-traveled person. She'd been to pretty close to every corner of Faerûn and maybe even beyond, even out into the Hordelands. And so to have her select Flan as the final resting place was rather unexpected. The circumstances of her demise, if you will, were a little bit clouded in secrecy, but it had nothing to do with, like I said, it had nothing to do with dragons. Had everything to do with, chosen of Mistra, if you will. There was a couple of chosen of Mistra who were speaking, who had met Xandria. Xandria was seen working with one of them. No names as to who it was, but before long, her crypt was set up. With a 21, that's what you're going to find.
Okay.
And for a location for you, Autumn, it is off the Galena Trail, kind of north of Melvaunt, but more eastish of Ilinver. South and eastish of Ilinver. And you see it is on the south side of the Galena Mountains. To be clear about that, you see it on the south side. Serge has heard about it being or has determined that it's on the north side of the Galena Mountains.
As I hold like the book about Weltran in my hands, I kind of stroke the paper. It's been a long time since I've been into an actual library with all this parchment.
Yes, Roman is the answer to your question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perhaps I have to look further into her roots, if there's anything, if I can find anything. This should do for now.
Okay. I am going to select something for Emery to do a little bit of research on as it's going to be
He would probably be, yeah, unicorns. Oh, I was like he would probably be looking into those dream things. So yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be researching some unicorns here real quick to see what is found in this library about that. So I'm going to use this opportunity to roll for him so he doesn't miss out on this. He'll have to go, he's got a +8 on investigation? What? Okay, fine.
Proficiency
Expertise.
and proficiency and expertise plus
He's a smart
rogues.
boy.
All
He's a
right.
rogue.
So I am going to send him some information later on based off of that lovely roll. So don't let me forget. Hold me to it, guys. Okay, so.
No problem.
Beautiful. That's fantastic. So with that, you guys now have some information in hand. You guys can begin. We can say that you have now spent a couple of days kind of gathering your things. You've now got your armors, your shields. You've got some information that you're now armed with. Lumina now has a chance to stick around in a library to do some research. What do you guys feel like you want to do next?
You mean as a party, or
Yes.
Are
you ready
I
to
feel
head
like we
out?
would probably. Oh, I think we would wait for Marisol's music box to be done before we left.
Okay. With the descriptors that she gave Rillo, he would have explained to her that this will be a bit of a while. This will probably be a job that will take him likely over a week to complete. Over a
Oh,
10
yeah,
days.
I
I-
will have
Over a
told
10 day.
them. I assume I've told them at this point that their estimation was super off, and like we'll be back in a reasonable amount of time at this point.
Yeah, let's tell you how much time that'll be giving us. Add up.
Yeah, Marisol, I wouldn't be expecting people to like stick around for my music box. I would have been wanting to get on the road myself.
Okay, so
All right.
What
then
time of day is it?
well, we kind of been playing this around as this has all been happening at a random time, so over the course of the past couple of days. By the time by the time all this is said and done, we're gonna say that it's like the 12th of Eliasis. So to Autumn's point, knowing how long it's gonna take, you have a couple of options, okay? And he would see this by way of the maps that he would have found. That one of the options would be to take the Flan. Hang on, travel by Flan Path and then Torath's March, and then finally North Glister Path to get there. Or you can cross the Great Grey Land of Thar. If you were to cross the Great Grey Land of Thar, it'll probably be 2 days shorter if you can keep your bearings about you. If not, you can take the paths where it's likely more safe to get there. It'll probably take you just around a 10-day to get there to where you think to where Autumn thinks Mountain Home is. If you were to go by way of the paths, and it might take a couple of days less if you go by the Great Grey Land of Thar.
I think, as we've seen by our investigation rolls earlier, we're probably going to go with the safer path.
No, we don't want to go through Thar.
I
That's a bad decision.
mean, it kind of sounded like it when he said we have to keep our bearings about us. Like, sounds like a bad place to be. So I think
We
sticking to
take
the
a-
footpaths is probably better.
Yeah, not relying on us to have to pick our way or avoid picking fights. Probably best.
Well, you're probably footpaths versus wilds, or you're probably choosing between bandits and some kind of beasts.
The
I think
Deadlands are full of like roving bands of orcs and goblins.
I'll
So
take,
yes, I would take the bandits if I were in your place.
yeah, I'll take the bandits over Mother Nature.
Or greenskins, yeah.
Alright. Okay,
They're
so
probably not much smarter than bandits, but
Before
So
we
we
leave,
go do that, find the things we need to, and then come back, and your music box should be ready.
That's what I was told.
all right. Well, I guess then once everybody is ready, we can probably head out.
okay, so would you
We'll,
guys
probably,
wanna
we'll
head out?
obviously probably wait till morning, but
Okay, That's
yeah.
what I was just about to ask too. Cool. Okay, so, all right. So then we're gonna start off with you guys waking up again, as you have been, with the great hospitality of Madame Fiona. But not in this case. When you wake up, it's not Fiona who's keeping the tea kettle. It's going to be one of her daughters, Blaze, is going to be keeping it instead. and you'll get yourselves fed before you start off. You will pack up your mule, and you will. Oh, I lost a person. Huh.
Yeah, Surge just dropped from the call.
Yeah.
She's still in the roll 20, but
Okay, well then, hopefully she can still catch up what's going on here. But yeah, you'll pack up your mule.
Actually,
get that all
when
set up.
you
Yeah.
Serge had wanted to do a roleplay thing the night before we left.
Right. Okay. So Serge, you wanted to do a night roleplay thing before we left, so go ahead and take that on.
Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Yep.
I can hear you great.
Okay. Somebody said my mic was messing up.
Oh.
Anyway. Yeah, I'm sorry. I just found out that I was unconscious for 3 weeks and washed up on the shore somewhere. I would like to just go get wasted drunk.
you can probably do that at the tea kettle.
Yes, but it's still a nice establishment. I may not be like a manners sort of person, but I have a certain level of dignity here.
So you're gonna go spend your dignity over at the Laughing Goblin then? Is that what's going on?
Yes. Oh
Okay.
yes.
All right. So is there
Oh,
anybody
boy.
else who's gonna go carousing with her? Let's have some fun with this.
Not with Surge, but I guess one thing I do want to do, since I have my new armor, is donate my scale mail to the armory. Since I did promise the lady there that I would do that.
Okay. Well, and we'll simply say that was part of your exchange that happened at that time.
Okay.
I want to go carousing with
Would
Serge.
Surge have
no.
like set this up? Is this just like, hey, I'm gonna go get shit faced. Does anyone want to join me, sort of thing?
I didn't get to try everything at the Goblin. Yeah.
I would agree.
Oh my god.
I was gonna go to the goblin.
I forget how much of a food not Lumina is. It's awesome.
Okay. Alrighty. All right. So,
Autumn is also technically an alcoholic, so.
Oh God.
I
No.
feel like Roman is the only one not joining them.
well,
I'm about to be studying my butt off. I want to. I want to
Yeah,
have last
party it
night
up
fun.
first.
Before
I'm
perhaps
going
I don't
staying
see you
at the tea
again.
kettle,
all right. So let's
You're also
say-
staying at the tea kettle?
Okay.
where the
so-
losers to stay in.
All right then. Let's have a little bit of fun with this. I'm gonna do it by way of roles. So if you're not all together, I don't really want to fully role play a night of carousing. So so we're gonna have a little bit of fun with this. Here's what I'm gonna get. Do. I'm going to get all of those of you who are going out for drinks to roll for me a couple of consecutive Constitution checks. We'll see. Okay. So we'll start with one. Everybody.
Does this count as poison?
No.
No, actually, I've actually had to look that up for a dwarf that I played once, but no, this does not count as poison. Not for D&D at any rate. So go ahead and everybody who's drinking, roll me a con save.
Save.
This is where I'm gonna regret starting with rogue and not fighter,
Oof.
or not.
Okay. Autumn, it has been a very long time since you've had a proper drink, and the Laughing Goblin has absolutely no problems with providing you with the most powerful stout ale that you've had in a very long time. You're pretty certain that it's actually the bottom of the keg mixed with the bottom of a keg of port. So it's
Oh,
pretty.
perfect.
It's a mixer. It's a bad one. And fairly quickly, after your first one, you are gone. You are 3 sheets to the wind after that one mug.
And I'm laughing at him.
Lumina, you're feeling you're feeling okay at the moment. Surge, you're doing you just pound one same. It's the exact same drink as Autumn's drinking. It grates on the throat, but it's gonna do the trick for sure. Let's go for one more. Go for another con save, each of you guys. Okay. Yeah, and Marisol and Roman, I'm going to come back to you guys in just a sec here too. Autumn, on this particular drink, on this next order you have, you spill it back, and if you remember, in Lord of the Rings, where Gimli is, with little hairy women scene, yeah, that's how you finish your night. Surge.
Oh yeah, no, I'm blacking out.
Yeah, you're out. You're out. You're totally unconscious at this point in time. Surge, that last one, whatever they gave you this time, it did not mix well with the first one, and so you're not feeling quite as though you can keep on pounding them back the way you want to. But that's okay because you're kind of that's kind of why you got here in the first place. Lumina, you're feeling fine. You're like, what's going on with these people?
I'm the only one who's actually eating snacks like you're supposed to.
There you
Did
go.
no one teach you this?
Yeah,
One
I don't
more.
drink.
One more con save for you guys, except for Autumn because you're already unconscious.
Hell yeah. It just gets better.
Wait, did the dwarf go down first?
The dwarf would
Oh,
go
good
I'm
God.
not the traditional stereotype of a dwarf. All right.
All right, so whatever was in that drink, that one was one of the was kind of a weaker one. Actually, you've kind of gotten to the point now where you're like you've got your good buzz going. You're having a great time. Actually, no.
I want to
actually,
dance with the Black Fist or something.
Yeah, you know what?
I want to do something. I'm going to go wild.
Okay. Let's see here. I gotta remember who's all in the Laughing Goblin. Oh, you know what? You do find another half orc. This guy's looking pretty. He's obviously a fixture of the Laughing Goblin. You go and set up to beside him, and you're having a conversation with him, and he's telling you about all sorts of things, like how if it hadn't been for the Black Fist, he'd still be working at the keep, and so on and so and sharing strange tales of long serpent-like creatures that live in the Moonsea and things like this. Surge, you are humoring the conversation, and really, you're actually, you might be flirting with somebody. I don't know. I'll let you decide that one.
Okay, hold on, Andy. On a scale of 1 to 10, like how bad off am I?
You're actually doing okay. You just need one more fail to actually be done. So, I was kind
I'm
of
flirting.
but you're like, I mean, you actually considering you guys both got 20s, I would say you'd have to have 2 more fails. So, is this when you're stopping?
Oh no.
Oh no. Okay, well then roll me another one.
I feel like we're gonna have 3 people to peel off the floor that.
What? Give me
that
one
place.
more.
You can give me another one too, Lumina, if you're taking another drink.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
going to use Mom's strength to drag him out. If I can. Oh no!
Yeah, that last. Actually, it's you can't tell if it's the drink or if it's the smell of the fella that you're talking with, but that one didn't go over so well. Serge, you're feeling fine and dandy, and you're about ready to start singing some of those songs that you remember from the ship.
Oh no, I'm not singing. I would totally be doing a jig or something.
There you go.
Table.
I love it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you know what?
It's a
Table dance.
Oh, we're gonna have a little bit of fun with this. Okay, next roll.
Keep going. We keep going despite our bad judgment.
You guys are fine.
Oh my God.
Lumina, you have a strange alcohol-induced inspiration. You're still doing much the same, doing the dancing that you were. You're inspired by Surge's beautiful movements. That you go up to that gargoyle of a statue that is the Laughing Goblin in the middle of the tavern, and you climb up on top of it and straddle it as if you're a baby doing a piggyback ride, and you start singing.
Oh boy.
One of your childhood songs that you used to sing to your kids, back in Amn, at the absolute top of your lungs, and you've got a whole bunch of other people joining in the song with you, with a whole bunch of mugs of ale sloshing around the entire Laughing Goblin. It's a party in here.
Am I sane enough to go pull her down eventually?
Yeah, you are. She's not feeling bad. She's actually feeling really good right now.
Okay.
What, you mean you want to go home now? Come on.
I'll dance with you if you're willing.
Oh yeah, come on.
All right.
Let's don't trip over Odom over there. I think that's Odom.
Odom is currently earlier on, one of the Fatmar actually probably went over to Odom and propped him up onto the end of the bar, the exact opposite end of the bar as the other guy who's the fixture, the half orc who's the fixture of the place. Go ahead, let's roll another con save if you want to take another drink.
Oh, good lord.
Will the sound. And while we're ahead.
Umina the god.
Right.
you guys go-
Yep. This
Mom strength, yeah.
You guys and Lumina, you do a bit of a spin that when you're trying to actually focus on her, she just kind of spins and the room starts to go with her. At this point in time, yeah, you have to sit down before you lose your drinks. And because of your awesome rolls, I'm going to say that, yeah, you're able to keep it, but you're not, you already know you're done. Even pass out. So you have to decide, are you actually going to allow yourself to pass out or not?
No.
And, okay. So at this point in time, you guys kind of get to the end of the night. It's very much way past midnight. You've had your carousing.
I will carry Odom back to the.
And I will carry
He's
Serge
pretty light.
carrying Odom.
Mom strength to the rescue.
Just steady me. Just steady.
I'm
Okay,
a
so-
train. I can do it.
Based on the amount of drinks that you and Serge had, you guys need to mark yourselves down for 2 gold of drinks.
Yeah. Fair.
That's fair.
Autumn, 5 copper.
Sick.
Yikes.
Oh, it's a mark of shame. That's
How's it a mark of shame? I made out like a bandit. I didn't lose nearly as much money, and I don't have that much money, so like that's a lot.
Alright,
2 is a lot of money.
Roman and Marisol, I have no idea how to pick up after that, but we're gonna try. Roman and Marisol, what are you guys doing when you're back at the table? Because it's a much more
Oh,
quiet.
definitely like the most boring thing possible.
Sipping
Roman's
on-
probably
reading a
sitting
book.
probably in one of the corner booths, playing solitaire with his deck of cards.
Marvelous.
I have my drawing kit out, and I'm just sketching things. And at one point, I'm gonna look at at his covered face and try to guess what Roman might look like underneath the mask, and just keep sketching.
Roman would probably look up towards Marisol like, "What?" Not really not ask her what, but give her that questioning glance.
I'm going to do the artist thing and like cover my work with my arm, glare at him, and then keep staring as I try to guess what he looks like.
Alright, so you've given me a marvelous opportunity to ask for a role that I very seldom do. A performance check.
Okay.
Oh. Alright.
Thought it was going to be 17. Fuck.
It sure looked like it to me too. Alright, so I always wondered actually if it looks the same to you guys as it does to me. Now I know.
I think it does.
Yeah, I hadn't ever paid attention to it before. Anyway, so your drawing, while it's very much in your style, you're not convinced you're actually getting a really good depiction of Roman under the covers, if you will. And by that I do mean the face, just to be clear.
I just start drawing Roman shirtless then.
Alright. Cool.
Roman is definitely not looking at whatever you're drawing, but
I'm at this point like doing full on like artist studies and just there's a lot of naked people on the sheet, and it's just awkwardly right next to what like I think Roman's face looks like.
would I be if I were to look at it? I feel like looking up towards her, I would end up seeing the page. Would I be able to tell that that's what she's trying to do?
Perception check.
Oh, perception. Can I
Can I
make it?
contest that with like deception or something?
You
Is it
try.
perception or insight?
Well, no, actually, your performance check is going to be probably the main thing that makes the decision.
Oh no.
So, in this case, it's going to be perception because you're looking at the
Okay.
artwork, not at the person.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. I think I
Alright.
got it.
All right, so here's what you are able to discern. That she's drawing lots of shirtless Art Deco kind of drawings, and however, one of them, you're pretty certain it looks an awful lot like your dad.
Okay. Oh. That's kind of interesting. I think Roman will probably chuckle a little bit seeing the drawing and then go back to playing his solitaire.
There you go.
I cover my drawing with a little bit more of my arm after hearing the giggle.
It's probably more of like
We
more of like a snort than a full chuckle.
I'm self-conscious. Leave me be.
All right. So you guys have your strange evening of artistry, solitaire, and dancing with goblins. So,
At some point in the night, whenever we make it back to the tea kettle, I'm just gonna come in singing the Dublin pub crawl at the top of my lungs.
Oh boy.
I'm sorry. I'll stop.
and after you come. Oh gosh, I'm looking at your comments for what to name the mule. Jeez, man. Okay. As you guys come in late at night, and you are noisy, you are inebriated. Somebody will. It'll probably be. Oh, I can't remember one of the redheaded Madame Fiona's daughter's name, but one of the daughters will actually come down to get you, and we'll come over to get Roman and Marisol to ask you guys to help ease them back in. And
Yeah, I think. Yeah, we'll make sure that they don't at least fall over too many times. Probably
I'm
once or
standing in the
twice.
doorway, looking very disapproving with my arms across my chest.
So who's got the mom power now? Okay, good to know.
Definitely Marisol has the mom power.
Yes.
All right, so then we're going
Deny
to
Roman the mom power if he wants it.
Roman will definitely not take the mom power away from Marisol.
Roman's a dad.
Yeah, I get that kind of fits better, probably.
Awesome. All right, so then we're going to say that you guys all get back in. You get yourselves settled. Some of you are half in your beds. Some of you are still in your clothes, and you do finally get yourselves to sleep. Your long rest takes you to a little bit later in the morning than your other days have normally been. Of course, Emery is up, so we might do some other stuff with Emery later on because he only does his trance. But after a while, you guys do finally wake up, and you're Autumn. You're feeling kind of okay because you don't have an awful lot of alcohol left in your system. It was not a lot to begin with. So you processed it. Surge, you're feeling a little worse for wear. It's not going to cause disadvantage or anything like that to you, but you're definitely feeling it. Lumina, you're also feeling it a little bit too. And so now we're about ready to say that you guys are packing up your mule, packing up your equipment on said mule, or else on yourselves, depending on how you decide you want to carry it. And you're about ready to start making your way out. Is there anything you guys want to do before you do so?
Roman would have listened to his music box probably a few times over before he went to bed, just contemplating what Ridlo said about it.
Okay.
Wake up, give Lumina a look, and just like a nod, a mutual nod of agreement.
Respect.
Yep. Hey, you took it better than I did. I'm actually mildly surprised.
Well, I had a bit of the wild younger days, you know.
Oh. Tell me more.
Perhaps when you come back, but you must come back.
I will. Don't worry about that.
Okay. So, at this point in time, Actually, I need to do one other thing real quick here. No, actually I don't. We're good here. We're going to be able to do this. So, Lumina, at this point in time, you're probably going to bid this group adieu. Is there anything in particular about how you want to do so?
Yes, she's actually physically somewhat reserved, so she's just going to say goodbye politely to everyone. Maybe give Emery a little squeeze on the shoulder as the youngish person, ironically. Yeah, she's trying not to get too emotional about it.
Can I grab her into a giant hug? I will do a strength check if I have to.
Aww.
Willing, Lumina?
Well, she's just surprised, but after a second, she kind of like pats Marisol.
I let her go after a moment and awkwardly don't meet her gaze afterwards.
Ah, okay.
If you see anything interesting, take notes.
I am ready to be a student again.
Just be happy you're not a student where I came from.
Are you going to tell us about that?
Maybe at some point.
Emery is going to mention something as well. Emery is going to say, if you find a way to return to where you are going, and it has to happen fast, just do it. Feel free to leave us a message, but just do it.
Don't hesitate.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you understand, but thank you. Take it to heart.
I'm sure we'll see you again, whether it's here in Flan or elsewhere.
Of course, I wouldn't miss the chance to come back if I could. And she kind of smiles with like a little tear in her eye.
And with that, Lumina packs up her bag and all the troubles inside it, and makes her way towards to Mentor's library. And the rest of you pack up your belongings and start making your way out on the Flan path as well. At this point in time, we've now completely shifted gears, and so for those of you who are watching in chat, like, why is Lumina leaving? Lumina is going to pull the Ashley Johnson of the group, I think, and maybe pump back in every once in a while. That's kind of what we're thinking is going to happen, and even if not, then at least we have the opportunity. We don't want to lose her because we have a lot of fun with her, though. So, yeah, there you go. We are going to have to carry on with the story, though, of course. So, we're going to go. I'm going to ask amongst the five of you, who is the most likely to be keeping watch? Do you think?
Emery.
Probably Emery.
Emery and Roman would probably be looking around pretty equally.
Okay, well then
I'd also volunteer.
Okay, so we're gonna go with a couple of different watches through the daylight hours at any rate. And you've got your mule. Who's gonna be operating the mule? Who's gonna be handling the mule?
Whoever has animal handling. I think I have a. How do I have a 4 in it? What is the skill for animal handling?
It's wisdom.
Oh, that's why. Okay, I was gonna say I thought it was not wisdom based. I thought it was gonna have a minus in it, but apparently I have a +4 because wisdom.
So does that mean you're handling the mule?
Unless somebody has higher.
I've got a 3, and if you want to keep an eye out.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I guess I guess I can take over perception.
Okay, so Roman, roll perception with advantage because you'll have Emery's help. And
can I do this with guidance as well, or no?
This is guidance is kind of what's the time on guidance? How long does it?
It's a 1 minute spell, I think, is how long it lasts.
Yeah. This is not really one of those things that you would be constantly going every minute. I'm going to guide myself.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
no, that's fine.
Let's just go straight.
I can do that with advantage then.
Okay. And Marisol, I'll get you to roll me that animal handling check too.
Okay.
Here we go.
And I can't blame my internet either. I have good internet now.
Oh, never mind.
Oh,
Best
Hell
mule
yeah.
ever.
Hell yeah.
all right.
I don't
Everything
think guidance would have helped me even if I got a 4.
done. And
Don't worry, Emerson's gonna pick up the slack.
I had advantage because he helped me.
Okay, cool. And let's see here. We are here. All right. Okay.
Surge or Odom's fault. Hell yeah.
Okay, so as you start out on the path,
Or Marisol's.
there's it's
What
it's
do
a
you
bit windy.
mean?
It's nice and warm, but it's nice. It's also a bit windy, and the wind is coming in from the basically from where you know the gray lands of Thar to be, and so it comes as a bit of a surprise when from the quivering forest to your left, a small herd of animals comes ripping out of the forest in towards your general direction, and when you guys get a chance to look, and it completely takes you by surprise that you didn't even know that they were there because Roman, with his wonderful perception roll, did not know. And yeah, Marisol's basically making the mule listen to her no matter what. So all of a sudden, let's see here. I gotta roll that number 2. That's taking a while for that roll to go through. Yeah, you see a fairly good-sized herd of elk. One bull elk and a whole bunch of cows come charging out of the trees. They're it's directly towards you guys. It looks as if though they've been spooked by something. Any immediate responses?
To clarify, this is like a stampede coming at us, right?
It sure looks like it. You don't. You see. You just basically see a mass of brown ungulates coming at you. One with a fairly good rack of antlers on them.
Okay.
Definitely getting out of the way first.
Can I hop on the mule and kick it out of the way? Like, just make it like ride the fuck out of there.
With you wouldn't be able to get on the mule because of how you've got it. How you will have had it packed. Because right now the mule's carrying around 150 pounds worth of other stuff, packaged up
Okay.
nicely. I mean, you jumping on it, it'll still be able to carry you. It's just that you wouldn't be able to straddle it.
Never mind then.
But you can certainly, with that animal handling check, you can easily move the mule out of the line of travel if you to where you think you're gonna go. So you're all just jumping out of the way then?
No, I don't
I
think
think
anyone
that's
wants to stand in
that's
the way.
immediate response. Yeah, is getting out of the way. I think secondary is probably looking to see what spooked him.
Okay. Let's see here. I need my roll. Okay, yeah, so with you guys jumping, and you kind of lurch forward on the path, the bull elk bleats and kind of veers a little bit just behind you guys. So he just takes the herd of elk, and you actually now see there's 7 of them that have just kind of run past you. And as they run past you, they suddenly they kind of slow down, circle, and turn back to look directly at you. You, Roman, now we have to do a new perception check. Go ahead and see if you can see what would have spooked them.
All right. Okay. Hopefully this one's better. Slightly.
Yeah, you
Better.
can see the edge of the forest, but that's pretty much all you can see.
Hmm.
The elk are now standing very attentively away, I would say they're about 60 feet away from you guys, on the opposite side of the forest. The bull elk starts pawing the ground.
Like ready to charge?
Sure gives you that feeling.
I think we keep looking at it, but slowly backing away from it. Keeping ourselves going down the path in the correct direction.
Okay. Anything else from anybody else at all?
Think I try to spook it away from us.
Oh no.
Okay, describe how you're going to do that then.
I'm gonna use prestidigitation
Ooh.
to create showers of sparks in their direction.
Okay. Go ahead, prestidigitation. Let's make it an intimidation check then.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah, that
Alright.
ain't bad. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So, go ahead and describe how you scare these elk away.
So Odom is not actually like intimidating in the slightest in this scenario. He actually looks very terrified of being, trampled, because that's a pretty reasonable fear to have in this moment in time. And he just kind of like sticks his hands forward and just sparks shooting out of just a variety of colors.
So that bull elk.
And
will
he just
actually-
keeps doing it over and over again.
All right. So that bull elk is actually going to rear up a bit and bleat again. The cows are going to immediately just kind of shudder and continue running away. The bull elk will kind of. It almost looks like it's trying to pull, that whole Liberty horse kind of up on its back legs kind of look before it turns and runs away with the cows as well. And they run and they run and they run out of sight.
That worked way better than I thought.
And you didn't shit yourself. Congrats, Dor.
Hey, fuck yourself. I mean, and I just like start running away from Marisol.
I just blink
As I
after
realize-
that. Look, Surge. Wow, he does have a backbone.
All right. So you guys get back with your mule. The mule is not spooked at all by any of this. Not with that 20. You are the mule whisperer. Okay, so let's go ahead and do one more perception check. Is Roman still keeping watch?
I think at this point I would be helping Emery instead. He has a way higher perception than I do.
All right, let's see what happens. This is going to get us to the evening where you guys can set up camp. Let's see here. Where is it there? Okay, perception. Here we go, Emery. All right, are you sure? See here. Okay. So Emery kind of takes the lead this time. You guys turn off the Flan path onto Torath's March, starting to make your way up north. And it takes. Let's see here. Let's see here. Yeah. Okay. So you guys get a good solid day of traveling. The wind has kind of been blasting at you from in front of you a little bit, still coming in from Thar, but you feel like you've actually made some pretty decent headway at this point in time. There's not been an awful lot of people on the path at the right now. Certainly no bandits. The people who have been traveling have been much like you. They have a one beast of burden and a couple of family members or something along those lines, but nothing exceptional that puts you on edge. After a little, the sun starts to begin to set, and now you guys are going to need to set up a camp somewhere. You have the Quivering Forest. It's about 120 feet off the left-hand side of the path, but then you have open grasslands out to the right.
I'm gonna leave that one up to the party to decide.
Where do you guys want to set up camp?
Rather set up all
Wherever the more survivally minded ones think is best.
Hence why Roman is not the one deciding.
Odom has not done a whole lot of camping.
Roman has done camping, but not this kind of camping.
This would probably be a Marisol or a Surge decision, probably then.
Probably, yeah.
I'm gonna take off and go where I can still see the path, but where I'm kind of off the way and start setting up a camp. Is Marisol gonna stop me?
No, I had the same thought.
Okay. So you guys get yourselves off the path, and you guys start setting yourselves up camp. You got tents that you guys can set up quite comfortably. you use the ropes that you currently have in your regular explorer packs to set up a kind of a little stabling kind of thing for the mule, and give it where you guys chose. There's lots of grass, there's lots of trees, there's plenty of things there for it to eat. So he just simply sits, the mule sets up and eats, and seems to be quite comfortable. It occurs to you at about this point in time that water might be a challenge for this mule if you don't come across the river soon. But you do know the river is ahead. And that is where we are going to stop for the evening. Seems appropriate that we should stop for the evening at about the same point in time that that your characters are, so that's where we are.
That'll work.
And there you go, ladies and gents. You are no longer in Flan. You are now charting your own course.
We are officially adventurers.
Oh joy.
Didn't we technically leave Flan already though?
Not really.
The
but
beet
kind of.
farmers. The beet farmers.
A little bit, yeah.
They're basically kind of still part of Flan, but not
You
really.
just went to the suburbs and you're thinking you left Flan.
Yeah.
I mean, that's exactly what Autumn is thinking currently.
That's pretty much it, yeah. All right. So, with that, I think we will turn the stream off. Thanks to all of those who are watching online, and thanks for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed, and if you want, you can, of course, join the Discord and come in and chat with us. We get lots of chatting in between time. You can always one of the things I'm curious about and see what you guys think are going to be some of the mystery adventures in that new Candlekeep Mysteries book that Wizards of the Coast is putting out. But yeah. Anyway, feel free to come join the Discord. You can find the link in there, and have a wonderful evening, all those people out there in the interworlds.